What's up, Moto buddies? Mike here from Taco Moto Co. Who are we? We make and sell the ultimate products to perfect out your Austrian dual sport motorcycle, a KTM EXC, EXCF, XCFW, Husqvarna FE, and FES. And soon we'll be developing some products and components for the Honda CRF 450L, RL, and X bikes. We build out bikes for our clients and friends, from Sunday Trail specials all the way up to fully equipped global slayers like what RTW Paul is riding on as he travels around the world on an EXC 500. In late 21, we'll be rolling out a full service suspension shop as well as a motor program, full rebuilds, blueprinting, balancing, getting rid of the motor buzz and the big bore KTM thumpers, top end, valve grindings, the works. We want to extend, ultimately, what we're after is to extend your ride day and your endurance and your stamina and be able to keep you on the bike for more riding years. We've got a bunch of 70-year-old riders out there who, with our help, hopefully will be riding well into their 90s. Taco Moto Co. Find us out on all the socials. Go out and get some adventure.
The sound is not as good this week, only because Jimmy went to Rottweiler Performance, and he talked with some of the guys there. More importantly, Jimmy non-swamp cooled head overheats about black helmets, winter fuel, and Honda's DCT transmission, the real horsepower numbers, and how bikes should be built for crashing. Then a guy from Mexico gives us the secret for making the trophy instead of winning it. Thanks, Victor. You'll really have to listen to this show.
Live from Rottweiler Performance in Costa Mesa, California. Is this Costa Mesa?
Yeah, Newport's 100 feet that way.
Rock across the street and hit Newport Beach.
Mm-hmm. Your rent will go up 50 cents a square foot.
This is Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. This is episode number 65. I'm Jimmy Lewis. I am here with Chris Parker from Rottweiler Performance. He owns this joint. He allows me to come down here every once in a while and do this show. And we have Baja Diaries. Mark.
Yeah. This is Baja Diaries.
Cannon. This is Baja Diaries.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
He's got us live on, where are we live on?
We're now? Live on Dirt Bike Test Instagram.
Oh, really?
I'll just kind of put this for a while and then...
Because they only let us go for a little while. Instagram has short attention span.
Yeah.
So, hey, thanks for joining me if you're watching live. You probably know the drill. You can ask questions in the chat room, and they somehow get relayed back to us. We can answer most of those. We have pre-programmed questions from the last week or so that I have on some documents. And so if you comment on our YouTube videos on the old shows and stuff, we go back, grab those questions, answer them for you. And tonight we're going to do a slightly adventure bike-focused one because that's...
Are we qualified?
You are qualified.
I think you're qualified.
I ride a lot, and so does Mark, and so does Heather, and so we have.
I own a bunch of them.
You own a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I own a bunch of them too.
Yeah.
And so we have some semi-experts, some people that know a little bit about what they're talking about. So you can answer if you have questions about how to make your KTM better. I think you can answer those.
Yeah.
I can too. And Mark, can you answer? You don't like KTMs.
I just know how to get lost.
Yeah.
And wear black in 90-degree California heat. That's what I know how to do.
Yeah, there's someone that watches this show an awful lot that really hates black helmets. He actually helps climb design helmets. Hates black helmets, and I'm always wearing a black helmet. He's like, Jimmy, what are you doing? And it's like,
that's my problem.
You got to keep this thing. You got to keep this thing cooled through that air conditioning. So I need the helmet has to heat my head up and has to sweat, and then it has to blow right out. It's like swamp cooler inside the helmet. So kind of back that. Hey, a couple of important things. This show would not be possible at all without the help of our sponsors and partners. And one of them is KTM. And since you're the KTM guy, you get to do this part.
Ooh.
You get to do the KTM read.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Because I usually torture children and make them read. My co-host, Logan,
yeah.
He doesn't say anything, but I make him read that. So see where it says KTM, you got to read that out loud.
Powered by a distinct ready-to-race mentality, KTM is the world's leading high-performance street and off-road motorcycle manufacturer. With North American headquarters based in Murrieta, California, Over the years, KTM has built a reputation as a fierce competitor on racetracks around the world, and the brand's remarkable global success is reflected in every product it develops and every move it makes, with the help of Rottweiler Performance.
Oh, that might have been a little.
I'm sorry, it doesn't say
Didn't
that.
say that.
Okay.
You can't read the rest
Sorry.
of that. There's something else on there.
Okay.
Man, that was good. Logan, did you hear that? That was good. You sound like a radio announcer.
I might have to come out to Brunt now.
Yeah.
Take the seat.
Yeah, take the seat away. That was good. So thanks to KTM, they help us do this. Another one I'd like to say thanks to is Climb. Our last show, which was a disaster from the technical side because of me, was at Climb. I mean, the sound was horrible. The video was screwed up because we were doing it through the phone because the internet's broke. I came up there and they have these two wires that come in. I think
They're kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, to Rexburg, Idaho, and I think I drove over one and put my motor home, and then we had a big problem. So I'm going to try to get that. There was a lot of cool. We talked about a lot of cool stuff that night. I'm going to try to get that one uploaded. I'm trying to salvage it off of my phone. So if not, I'm going to go up and redo it because I'm going back up there to get my motor home, which is someplace in Pocatello. I don't know where. Martin, is my truck sunk into the ground yet? Actually, did you see the picture of his kids checking my motorhome out? I was hoping that they were licking the bugs off the front bumper because I like kids to do that for me. I'd like to. So Climb hosted us last time. Climb makes really good gear. Do you know that?
I have a lot of it.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a junkie closet full of it.
And I won't let Mark wear it very often.
No, it's only for the pros.
It's the best gear, and I let you wear the other stuff because I always wear the Climb stuff because I want to. Good gear.
Cool. That's cool.
I actually rode the Big Bear Trail Riders thing last weekend with Troy Lee wearing all Climb gear.
Was Troy Lee wearing Climb gear?
No,
You were.
just me.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. I have a question about that.
Hold on. Well, Troy used to make dual sport.
They had adventure gear. Yeah.
But now I don't see on their website anymore.
I think they went through a redesign. I think they're coming back with something. I mean, they've got some tough competition.
I hope so, because Troy, I had a jacket that lasted me about 8 years on the trail, and now I can't wear it. Now I wear A-Stars, Alpine Stars, but I went to their website.
Allegedly, that's really good gear too.
Well, yeah, because I got good taste sometimes. It's all black though, right? It's all black in the sun.
Hey, so one other thing about Climb is we have a challenge going on with them right now, or to you, a challenge to you. It's show Climb your junk. That's the hashtag you're supposed to use. And if you carry stuff in your backpack or your fanny pack or your tactical vest, and we want to see what you're carrying, and we're going to go through all the videos that we have and pick the best ones, and someone is going to win. We're going to have a panel of experts. I don't know where we're going to find them, but we're going to get a panel of experts, and we're going to watch all the different videos, and somebody's going to win a new Climb Arsenal vest, which is new and redesigned.
That's cool.
So, have you done that yet?
Pack like the thing and take a picture of it.
And then you got to do a video and tell us what's in there.
Actually,
some of them are really good, and I've reposted a couple of them. There was some stuff I saw that I'm like, that's a really good idea.
Like you didn't think of.
Yeah, and I've been doing this for years, and I'm still every time. Then that's what's cool about it. It's kind of like crowdsourcing. So if you do it, tag dirt bike test, hashtag show climb your junk, show climb your junk. That's it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Show climb your junk. Mm-hmm. Hashtag that, and then hashtag climb as well, and we will look at those. But tonight's the last night you can do it, so you're just gonna have to go out and hold your phone. It doesn't have to be fancy. We just want to learn. We want to see what people are putting in their backpacks and fanny packs and stuff like that. So kind of cool of Climb to partner with us on that and do that. And other kind of big news is Recluse is coming in. Recluse Clutches is coming in and starting to partner with Dirt Bike Test and Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. They are going to get like 10 or 12 more episodes uploaded onto SoundCloud, so it becomes a podcast, because it takes a little while for it to grow. It has to sink its roots and then grow into a podcast. So it'll get uploaded like our episodes I think we have 30 to 50 up there, and it sort of stops, so they're going to kind of 50 and bring it up to 60, 65. We have some cool projects with them, so kind of watch for that. And that's it for our sponsorship stuff. Now we can start talking about the questions. But Chris, I have a question.
No.
You said so. We were going to come here and talk about the the Yamaha Tenere 700 at Chris's KTM only shop.
No, it's not KTM only. I got a Ducati
in
over there.
there. So we rolled the Tenere in here, and he was like, I've got it. You can say I don't care how much you like it, Jimmy. It's not as good as a KTM. And then he pulled his trophy out from the Sonora Rally to prove it.
I don't know if I said exactly that, but yeah, here's a trophy from the Sonora Rally with the 790. So
yeah,
if you can produce one for a Yamaha Tenere yet.
Tenere wasn't available yet.
Okay. That's fair.
But you did bring some good tequila too.
I did.
Which we actually, some people posted on your post when you mentioned that I was going to be here. You said you better give Jimmy tequila, otherwise it's boring. So you keep working on that.
It's got a fancy wrapper.
And yeah, that is it's got a little booklet in there too, because I got one of those. We were out doing some rally training, and one of my friends, helper, a guy I work with, his mom sent one of those out with him, so probably to keep me happy, which
Nice
it
work.
worked.
Yeah.
So that's some nice tequila.
Yeah.
So Rodney Johnson had a question. He said, and you as you pour, you can probably digest this question. We just rode in Colorado on some gnarly rocky passes up to about 13,000 feet. Traction and control and ABS kept switching back on. He said he disconnected the dongle and the system kept doing it. He stopped for lunch, did a more moderate climb and road ride, and they stayed off. Ever seen that before? We'll jump into the forums, but curious for your insights. So
What bike is this?
I'm pretty sure it's a 790 or 1190. I don't know. He didn't tell me.
There's
but,
no dongle for 790.
Okay, then it's 1190 or 1090. So have you ever? Once I put them on, they seem like they work fine. Maybe
I mean, it's electrical component, so it
could
can
fail.
fail, I suppose, but
The connection could get a little. I mean, it's a pretty good plug. That's a really good plug
Yeah.
in there.
it's like a solid state thing.
Is it? And I've seen people that just have them bouncing around in there. That's probably not good. All it is just it's
Well,
got
they do give you a little mount that bolts to the frame that it sticks on with a rubber thing.
Right.
But some people just chuck it in there because they don't want to take the side pot off to do that.
Yeah. So I have not seen that all the riding I've done, and you don't ride KTM's, so you don't know.
Yeah, I don't have big ones. Thank you.
There we go.
I mean, we get calls all the time. Electrical components. We get calls like this probably 10 times a day.
Yeah.
Not like this, exactly like this, but
Yeah.
like, hey, I got this. I put something on. I got this electrical gremlin that's happening, and a lot of times it's coincidental.
Yeah.
It's either caused by the part, or parts are faulty from time to time. Anything that's electronic and
Anything can fail.
anything can fail. Yeah. And
If you go to the internet, you're going to find out that 87% of riders have experienced this, but it's all from the one guy like you that actually went on there, and they go, "Oh, I heard about that," and then it becomes a bigger problem than it really is. But
Right.
no, I've never. That's a first one for me. Yeah.
we don't get calls about those
About the
ABS
dongle.
dongles like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
No.
So, Rodney, hopefully that answered your question. If you have more and you're listening or watching, kind of throw it in there. But and like you said, he disconnected it and it kept doing it. Stopped for lunch, did a moderate climb and a road ride. Then it stayed off, which means maybe it was heat related. That's like funny because like electrical components sometimes don't necessarily like heat. What did we just go through with?
You don't know if there's a bent pin in the thing.
Yeah.
Things like that. We go through this stuff all the time. And it's really tough to do so over the phone because everyone who talks to us swears they didn't do anything wrong.
No, you know what the answer is? when they come and they come with a problem, you want to know the tech answer?
What's that?
What was the last thing they did to the bike?
Yeah.
And that's usually gonna march you straight down the avenue to your solution. So
My favorite one is like, hey, I put your stuff on 3,000 miles ago, and now my bike is doing this.
yeah,
But it was fine for 3,000 miles.
yeah.
And we're the people they call.
Well, it's because they put your stuff on the bike.
Yeah, 3,000 miles ago.
Yeah. So Mark, this question is directed to you. It was about our CRF 250L impression.
Mm-hmm.
It's from Precision Rifle Network, and he asks, "Good review, but why does the audio sound like you're underwater?"
It depends on what part, and if I can remember right, I did a voiceover, but then I did some audio up in the hills, and maybe he's talking about that.
But you're not a professional audio engineer. You're a professional go get lost guy.
No, but I would direct him to maybe the Husqvarna video where he can leave his hate.
Oh, really? The Husky
I
711?
send everybody to that one, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that your most viewed video?
Yeah, they can just, no, that actually the most viewed is the 250L.
Really?
It's like 280,000 views.
You're a legend among small adventure bike riders.
Yeah.
I'm popular in India. What was that? Oh, you've got a thing. That's more technical. That's more technical. Oh, here we go. I knew you had ammunition.
That's awesome.
Now we have drops.
Yep.
This show just reached a whole new level. We now have drops. Let's just don't. I was going to say cheers to you. I was going to say cheers. Thank you for the nice tequila.
Cheers.
Yeah. Oh, the tequila already.
And you have studio laughter.
Yeah. No, live and I thought you said since we were going to come here, we were going to try to keep the show on the up and up, keep it really
Not a
nice
chance.
and high quality.
Not a chance.
Okay, so I got another one here.
Yeah.
It's a guy named Rick Germain says, "If there's a better bike reviewer than Jimmy Lewis, I haven't seen him or her yet."
Well,
You haven't met me.
Hold on.
You get to do yours later
I'm just
tonight.
kidding.
We might actually do it here.
I'm
We
just
may
kidding.
actually do it in here and do the Yamaha review in the KTM shop after it's all said and done. So I just don't want to throw that out there. Just toss that out there. But no, it's funny because the small adventure bikes on the YouTubes and stuff get tons and tons of views. Our 390 video is probably one of our largest, because those people, they're entry level, and this is what a lot of times we've been in this industry for so long, you literally forget that there's people that don't even know how to get in. They don't even know which door to open to come in to visit, to join. And I learned that when I started looking at the numbers of what people were looking at. If you know, like a lot of our people that are watching us, they know there's a red one, there's a green one, there's an orange one, and there's a blue one, and they want to know which one's the best. And they know which dealer to go to, and they know everything. But I mean, we encountered in our school, sometimes people walked into the first motorcycle dealership they came across because they wanted to ride a motorcycle, and they bought a BMW GS 1200 as their first dirt bike.
jeez.
And because they just didn't, because that's what the sales guy said. Oh yeah, look at these guys rode around the world on them. Like, okay, yeah, I kind of want to ride around the world, maybe just down my street, not into the dirt, but that's good. Okay, I'll take one of those. And they didn't know there was a smaller bike here.
Well, I want to add to that because I got some flack on that. What bike was it recently? The 390. People were asking me, well, why are you dumbing this bike down? Like, why are you? Because I did in my video address teenagers.
Yep.
I addressed women. Especially because I looked at my own family. I go, well, my kids want to go. They're teens. What bike would I get them? So I wanted to really focus my video on that, and I got flack for it. People were like, well, why are you making this into a girl's or like a kid's bike? And I'm like, no.
Because it could be.
It could be,
Yeah.
yes. And if you listen to the video correctly, you can see that I'm trying to open the window. I'm trying to help the motorcycle industry sell more bikes. And so that's why I went into that. But you're always going to have the guy, the horsepower guy, who wants to go fast and talk about,
Yeah, and there's some people that I see where you're at, but there's some people that have that bike, that's the bike they got, and they're kind of happy with it. It fits them, and then all of a sudden you call it a girl's bike or an entry level bike, and it's like, well, look what's behind us. I mean, you know, and that's sort of the next step. I mean, if you go 390, then you're going to be at 790, 700, something like that. And then it's like, then there's, you know, 1090, 1190, and then there's 1290. I mean, there's lots of stair steps, and those displacements don't necessarily mean more and more advanced to a certain extent, because the 790 may be the most, you know, in the KTM lineup, may be the most advanced one currently. Now, well, 1290 is kind of ridiculous. I think it's there's probably a new one, you know, newer one soon, you know, but that's the newest, latest, greatest.
Oh yeah,
and that's what they're working on. But yeah, there's well, you know, because you just produce hate videos.
What do you think? I mean,
where do they find your hate videos?
I don't know. It's one.
It's not at Baja Diaries. Not at Baja Diaries.
It's a Berm Canyon Adventure.
Berm Canyon Adventures. Yeah.
And bring your hate and.
well, I mean, isn't the 390 billed as an entry level?
Yes.
I mean, they so much as say so. And a lot of time, entry level means young people. You know, if usually women getting into the sport, you know, they're going to go for something that's a little bit lighter, maybe easier to ride.
And there's a lot of very seasoned riders who really don't want to pick that bike up.
Yeah.
They don't need the power. They've done it. You know,
and it's intimidating too.
A lot of the guys that I rode with when I was in my 20s. So we're talking about Crazy Nate and Dick and those guys. Some of them passed along, and some of them are still riding. I don't know any of them that are riding big adventure bikes. They're riding CRF 230s, Yamaha TTR 250s. They're cutting their seats. They're lowering their suspension. They're running dead mooses in their tires. So they just don't go fast anymore. They don't need to. They want to go ride. They're just getting out and riding.
They're 70 and 80.
Yeah, they're 70 and 80. Yeah.
Years old.
I actually rode with this Big Rig Trials run this weekend. I rode with Ricky Johnson, Jeff Ward, Troy Lee. Jeff Ward was on a KLR 230.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's the only thing from Kawasaki can get the street legal. And he was, I had to stop riding behind him because I was laughing so hard watching him wheel this bike. And he was wheeling the thing. And he was going just as fast as anybody else on a bone stock.
And that's something that people kind of like. So we were doing an adventure ride. We were on 700, and I was on my 1190. And you'd think I could just yank, or anytime I wanted to. Just, no, you never. Once you're above like 250 cc's, you've got enough to pretty much do what you need to do. Sure, it's not going to go to the same crazy speeds or anything like that, but it will do the job, and you just pointed out, although you are talking about a Supercross champion. Hey, I got a question about that. Victor asked about that particular trail ride. He said, where did he say that? Oh yeah, I wonder how a Rottweiler bike did on Gold Mountain Trail on Saturday morning. Can you answer that? Gold Mountain Trail, do you remember that?
I didn't ride the 790. There was a guy there, Travis Brock, who does on every Sunday, I think it is. On every Sunday?
Uh-huh.
He does this kind of series of videos, and he's got a KTM 790 that he rode in that. He did 120 miles.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if he did Gold Mountain, but he was the only one. There was another guy riding the 790, and there was an adventure route.
Oh, so it wasn't you. Victor's not talking about you. He's talking about a Rottweiler bike. Or a bike that...
Yeah, and he's got a lot of Rottweiler stuff on it.
Victor, he's in here, so he's not in Facebook jail. Victor goes to Facebook jail. Like,
yeah?
He's probably a felon.
Which one's Victor?
Victor Andre? Yeah, he's a Mexican dude. He's a Facebook felon.
But he's not a felon.
No, he's not a felon. He's just a Mexican. Same thing, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Bad. Hey.
Racist.
I knew I was picking on you, Muriel. Yeah. So yeah, he was curious. He must have been riding with the guy.
Well, he was trying to do the whole thing, the actual hard route.
Yeah.
He did 120 miles of it. He laid it over, and at one point the check valve in the gas cap stuck, and it kept starving the bike.
Oh, vacuum
starving it. So he had to ride with the cap open, and then he had an anti-gravity battery restart, which are great batteries, but I think his fans were running so much, and I think he outran the battery, and they run down to a level where they shut off, and they do that to protect the bike.
Right.
But the problem is in some situations you're overrunning the generator's ability to kind of recharge things, and you're running everything down, and if it hits that, it shuts the bike off. So I think they're great batteries for most situations, but
So the brand of the battery removed, that the 790 can run its fan enough to run the battery down?
that's what we think.
In extreme
There's
conditions.
2 fans on that thing, and there's headlights and there's other things.
And so he's like go installing, fan keeps running, keys on, lights on,
Yeah.
stopped without turning the key off kind of thing.
Probably, yeah. And it basically, what they do is they just shut off at a certain voltage so you can restart it. But in certain rare situations, it can work against you. But he did 120 miles of it. I asked him if he thought he could do the whole thing. He said he wasn't sure, but there's like 38 special. You know about this 38 special?
I've ridden all those trails, but I don't know.
There's some 38 special that's an up and back that's super tough.
It's just all loose and rocky, and it's so dry up there right now. That's where we did the Tenere intro, was up in the mountains up there, and we rode mostly like quad/2 track, more easy stuff. None of that. We rode one section of quote single track, but not too much. So interesting. I mean the funny thing is I was going to say to the fuel boil.
He opened it up and it did.
Yeah. Because we had on our ride back, and this is something that Chris Reel warned us about. Like he said, hey, the fuel, we have a request from the field. Somebody getting a little thirsty out there. So there's an overstock of winter blend fuel that's not getting burned off, and so a lot of our fuel, step up, no problem here. So that fuel boils a lot easier than the summer blend fuel. And
which fuel?
The winter blend fuel. So in a lot of states there's winter blend and there's summer blend fuel.
Even in California?
Absolutely in California. Yeah, and it's mostly. And Chris can probably correct me if he's on here, because he usually does. The winter blend fuel is made so that your car starts easier when it's cold, and it also has a lower boiling point. Yep. And then the summer blend, of course, I don't know the specifics. I'll have to get Chris back on to answer that. But so we got down. We were literally a mile from the gas station after like a 200-mile stint, 190.
Yeah, 195, 192.5.
192 miles, but we were doing like 80 miles an hour on the highway and into headwind, gnarly, and her bike just and
which bike
stopped.
Was it? The
Tenere. And it's we were kind of budgeted 230, 220 is what we kind of calculated out from all of our other stuff, because we also came into a town not late at night, 5:25.
Yeah.
Or no, 5:15. It closed at 5.
Yeah.
And the only gas station in town was closed at 5. We ended up getting gas at the bar. Yeah, you always get gas at the bar. There's somebody who'll come out and give you gas. So, but that was one where that was 245, 250 or something like that where we got there. But anyway, so the reason, and when we stopped and we opened the tank up, same thing. And you could hear it boiling inside there. So it wasn't totally out, but the gas was boiling. All of a sudden, fuel doesn't go through a pump very well, and it's in bubbles.
Right. And a lot of times too, that like these things, they got those little kind of like beep, like little check valves with the thing in there, and if it fills with pressure and you bump the thing, they just get locked solid.
It blows up. I've seen my Husaberg, the one I love. That Husaberg 570. You ever ridden one of those?
Yeah. No.
They make a lot of power. I mean, you have stuff that makes a lot of power in here. Nothing like a Husaberg 570. When you get like 3/4 of the way up and you go that last quarter, But it can boil fuel too, because it's got a gas tank that wraps around the motor and the exhaust pipe does stuff. But that thing, it would, you just watch the tank, and I've seen guys in KTMs with their radiator shrouds start making weird shapes. Like, look at my radiator shrouds, and it's like, look at your tank, it's like a balloon. So kind of something to know. But Victor says, how many Sonora Rally trophies do you need? Let me call my cousin Pedro. Victor, I need one. I'll get you. I'll take a picture of the graphic and tell him to get his carving knives out. Victor is a good guy. He got me some. He brought us an old bottle of tequila when he came to the show. Yeah, he rode flat track with us, and it was all good. So Rodney says it was a 1090R that he was having problems with on his dongle. So not had that problem before.
If you're having problems with your dongle, you might want to talk to a doctor.
Hit a drop. Yeah, drop.
A what?
A drop. That's called a drop when you make a noise.
Oh.
The one about the dongle. Don't you have a drop for that? I'm going to read another question. So, yeah, is that Flipper?
I got a dolphin.
Is that Flipper a dolphin?
Yeah.
I don't have a dolphin, and I don't have a dolphin at home either.
You are one pathetic loser.
Wow.
So Randy Fish says, Chris, did you ever make the burrito warmer for the KTM 950? You used my bike for the template.
Oh, he's talking about the doghouse toolbox that we had. No, we looked at it, and it was we made a toolbox for the 990, so our intake made enough space. Once you used to put our intake on it, made enough space for that toolbox. Remember that thing?
Yep.
So a lot of guys wanted them for the 950s. The problem was the diaphragm on the back of the carburetor stuck back so far, it only left that much room, and we just never ended up making one. We get hit up every once in a while. We say, you should make this for the SE2 950 something or other, and it's we'll sell all about 3 of them. There's a lot of stuff we'd love to do. But
Why is it called a burrito warmer?
Because it sits right above the head.
Oh, because that sounds like a great idea, actually.
Well, we used to tell people used to ask us what can I put in here? Does it get hot?
Your exhaust pipe. Let me listen to this because I've done this before. Actually, I knew a guy, this old guy that rode with my buddy up in Mammoth, and he had all these little contraptions that he actually in his Honda muffler he welded in a little container and he'd put a can of soup in there.
Really?
And he'd warm his soup up in the morning and he'd go ride and he'd have his soup. But you can just take tinfoil in your burrito and just lay it on your header.
I did it with a hot pocket once.
Yeah.
In Tecate.
Yeah.
I just put some tinfoil around the whole thing and rode around for a little while.
You just do it when you stop, and it'll unfreeze a burrito if you do the flips and stuff. And the tinfoil doesn't get hot enough. You have your gloves on, you can cook a burrito, no problem. I've done it.
Yeah, we used to tell people, they'd ask us what they could put in there. We would say burrito's good, ice cream bad.
Kyle McCoy. Kyle McCoy is a Dakar finisher, by the way.
Wow.
He's come and done my rally navigation training. He was at an event we were at last week. Said, Jimmy, when will you do a mechanical class? As you saw last weekend, I can use it. And nobody better than you guys to do this. Demand exists. Let's do it. So Kyle had a tip over in ruts. We were riding in a really rutted out actually, it was ruts because the cows were all walking up the road. This is in Wyoming. And it made really steep ruts. I think he tipped over in the rut and he had a large gas tank on. And you know how the KTMs, they have the bolt that goes through the center? Mm-hmm. It actually tore the tank off that bolt. Mm-hmm. And it was strange because it actually the rubber grommet that was in there went into the tank and the bolt was just sitting there. But anyways, we unbolted it, and then when I came up on him, and he's like, my bike doesn't run. That's weird. And like, what happened? He goes, well, I tipped over. It didn't make sense. So we started up and kind of revved it a few times, and it started up and it revved. But the minute I started riding forward up the hill, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. It's like it's flooding out because the gas was splashing out of the tank, running down the frame backbone. And it was warm enough to where it would expand and enrichen the bike up. But I got the bike up, I turned around, and revved it out again because I still didn't know. I couldn't see the gas spilling down between my legs, because I wasn't really looking at it. I'm like, how would a tip over cause? Rode down the hill and it rode fine because all the gas went into the front of the tank. Mm-hmm. It wasn't splashing in the back where it was smaller. It was staying up in the front.
So it ran the hole where that little bolt is?
Ran fine, yeah. Huh. So it's gas, but when I came back, you could see gas was dripping out. I go, the tank's broken. It's spilling gas, and I don't know how it's getting in the airbox, but it was just hot enough to where it was probably getting on the engine, vaporizing, and then just causing, the bike couldn't, it was super rich. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, sure, okay, gas tank's broken. So it was easy to take a gas tank off with one bolt, and we realized what the problem was. And so we I'm like, I can fix this. I got JB well, so I usually have the gas tank stuff, but I didn't have the gas tank stuff. But it was pretty screwed up in there. But I just, what I did, which was kind of wrong, I would have done it differently had it in the second time, is I mixed up enough of it to smash it and completely seal that hole up. Mm-hmm. And it was enough to make it so it wasn't going to spill out. And he had to go probably 50 miles to get back, but there was a big tank, so there's probably enough in there. So we smashed it in there and filled up that hole. Dumb Jimmy. Didn't realize that, the post on the frame, that tank now that's got a solid thing, it can't, the tank can't drop down. I should have put a stick or something in there and created a crevice so that hole, and then you wouldn't want to bolt it back on because you don't want to upset that thing. But it worked. He rode all the way back in.
JB well.
And then what else do you need? Oh, we borrowed our gas tank off of our 350 to ride the next day. But yeah, Kyle, the mechanical classes is kind of like that. It's a very, very unique situation. And that's a lot of times, anytime, just like the dongle, it's just a weird one-off fluke thing, and we've all done it. You've all had your weird experience where you had to jimmy rig a situation. I've had a clutch cable housing fray, the outer housing fray, and all of a sudden the cable doesn't work anymore because it doesn't have anything to, the out, so what do? We wrap fence wire around it and duct taped it on. To stiffen it back up to get it to work. So it's like I think some people just have that innate MacGyver ability.
MacGyver, yeah.
You ever see the fix I did on Simon Cudby's 790?
No.
There was I was riding behind him in Beverly coming out on the road, and all of a sudden his bike went and just went sideways. And I'm looking at him and I'm watching him and I'm like, what on earth? And I heard stories about like subframe bolts coming out. So I thought his subframe went sideways. Because the bike, you ever seen a truck where the axle's sideways?
Yeah,
like this,
the wheels
and I'm watching him, what the hell is it? So we couldn't find a shoulder. We finally found the shoulder. And I look at his subframe bolts, they're all there. We had gone down to Punta San Francisco and back the day before, and he's like, man, this thing's kind of a rattle trap. And I'm like, well, mine's really tight. Like, and I couldn't figure. Well, the bolts, the swing arm bolts, both came out. Both. So one had come out because they use like a.
It pinches itself. Like one's kind of compressed.
Usually what I do is I red Loctite one and blue Loctite the other, and then I mark them red and blue so I know what's what. So I basically create one.
Yeah, I know it's a centering thing, but I thought one of them was swedged.
The 690 shock linkage is like that. So one bolt, one nut is kind of swedged, and the other one isn't. Okay. Well, both of them had come out, and the thing had worked its way out, and the whole thing went sideways on it. And so we took sockets and safety wire and put sockets in and ran safety wire in and out of it and twisted it all and just pulled it all together. And he went another 700 and something miles with that fix.
Fully rigged.
Yeah.
So solid.
All the way out to Quattro's Casas and everywhere else. So, and we fixed the clutch with a leather shoelace.
Yeah. Done that before too. I've actually cut a clutch base out of a VW body.
A what?
VW body. There's old junky VW playing something inside of the town or something like that. We actually cut with tin snips, cut out and manufactured a locking plate, a plate that locked the whole thing together.
I believe it.
And it was the crudest thing you've ever seen. But we just beat it in with a hammer and locked it up, and it was like bump, start, and go. You're going down the road. See. Hey, do you know someone named Todd Kelly?
I do not.
He loves your content.
Okay,
yeah,
see, I got one guy out of
loving the content. He says, yeah, he says I'm one of his favorites too, but he likes yours better. Let's see. Somebody said the place looks good. Oh, you're gonna do more promoting, marketing? Here, give me that button thing here. Oh yeah. Already, right? Hey, I want to thank Chris for letting us come down here and do this because otherwise I'd be in my garage and it would sound like I was in a garage.
I have to say,
12-year-old kid.
This is probably the most elaborate stage set that you've ever had on TikTok.
Because you came into it when it was in my shop.
Yeah,
my shop isn't Sano. It's just get stuff.
Well, done. I found you when I saw this guy in this dark little bar with like a jukebox behind them. That's your original.
Yeah. So at Ramirez Bar in have we been there?
I haven't been there.
We should go there if they ever turns into a real bar again. I mean, but Janie, my bartender, and my pool girl, because she fixes the things in my pool. I have a Walmart pool. It's like $260, and it gets leaks.
Is it above ground?
Oh, it's a long story.
We have an above ground pool.
We should go to Ramirez. We'll do above ground. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Come on.
That's the difference. That's the delineator right there. Above ground, below ground.
Yeah. I don't have carbon fiber things, Chris.
WT.
WT. Yeah, easy there, Heather. She lives close to Newport Beach. I live close to Las Vegas.
I gotta give a shout. Like literally everyone that's tuned in, I know. I want to give a shout out to Martin Gomi. Haven't seen you in a while. Mike Stein. Haven't seen him in forever. Love you, buddy.
You want to know where to find Martin Gomi? You go to Ramsburg and there's a bar and there's a bar stool with his name on it, but you can't see the name because he's usually sitting on it.
Yeah. Well, didn't he?
I just go in there for a lunch, every once in a while.
He's got a hotel there. Mark Daniels, how you doing, buddy? Love you. Mariel Parker. I think I know her.
Hey, I got a question.
Grant Polanski.
Shelby wants to know what kind of power are we cooking up with the Red Bull Beauty on the stand behind you?
Right here?
Yeah, you're the one that put it there. It's another one of those marketing things.
What kind of like power?
Yeah, power. Shelby wants to know.
To the tire. Where are we at with this? I'd have to pull up let me pull up my records. I think I got my dyno charge right here, literally. Actually, I think it's somewhere.
Threw something out there.
We're 852. I think we're somewhere around. God, I can't remember. We're somewhere in the 80s, low 80s, I think, with this bike.
Yeah.
The Duke, for whatever reason, makes the only difference
the
is
890 Duke.
Well, the 890 Duke makes a lot more horsepower than the 790. The 790 Duke makes more horsepower than these things. Because it's got a different cam, it's got larger throttle bodies and larger velocity stacks. Probably some different programming too. The 890 made substantially more horsepower than that. That thing is putting like 110 to the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. The differences between that and the 790 Duke are huge. Like
Okay,
literally
so just-
12, 10 horsepower bone
So
stock.
just since we're talking about like horsepower numbers, just get a reference on stuff because I'm going to relay this back to traction and what you really need or what you do or don't need.
More.
More, yeah. Of course you need more. Here, it's all you talk about is more. We argue about this all the time. You tried to give me more, and I gave it back to you and said I want better.
We do better too. We do better.
Better is good. So what does so you're going to say the 790 is what's average 790? Just stock rough.
I'm gonna pull it up.
You're gonna give me an exact number. Just give me a rough number.
Oh, 70 something, I want to say.
Okay, so 70 for the 790. What does 1090, 1190 make?
Oh, here we go. Hold on.
He's going through. He's got hundreds of dyno runs. There's dyno charts. Looks like a DJ in there.
Okay.
I'm just trying to keep going with these drops. This is good. I'm gonna have to get something like this.
Okay, I was way off. Sorry. 84.
84 with the 790.
84. Bone stock with the 790.
Okay, and then so I think the 1090 and 1190 are about $110, 110.
Yeah.
Or something horsepower. What does a 390 make? Like the Duke 390 is 35.
I don't think I have one of these on file.
Yeah.
Actually, I have yet to dyno the 390. That's going on the dyno.
The
next.
Adventure, yeah,
Yeah.
Can I ask a simple question?
absolutely. That's what we do here.
So, adventure bikes. Why would somebody want more horsepower besides for ego? Like for me, I mean, I get it, but what does it do? I mean, are we talking like, can you add more characteristic power? Is that what you were going to talk about?
It's funny because if you pay attention to the show, you listen to this thing. My answer is like you want more power. What do I tell you to do?
Twist it further.
Turn the throttle farther. That's the thing. Because I'm working on it and getting better at it. So I always say turn the throttle farther, because most of the time when people are talking about how much power their bike has, I promise you they're not at peak RPM, number one. That's usually number two. And most of the time their throttle isn't all the way on. A lot of times they'll roll the throttle on, but they're not letting it rev up, because most bikes, you turn the throttle the way you rev it up, it's very rare that the average guy, the regular person, goes all the way to the peak power and then maybe even to the rev limiter. Some bikes run up to it. This is not just adventure bikes. This is any kind of motorcycle. But then we come to this aspect of torque, because that's what you really feel. You know, you're feeling kind of the torque and that's how much it pulls. And you know it's drivability. And with the bigger bikes, you can achieve the power you need to go where you want to go at a lower RPM, and you have a lot left in reserve. So when you pull out to pass the truck,
Right.
you know, that's it. Or you want to cruise down the highway at a little higher speed without feeling like you're straining the bike's nuts. You know, i.e. the 790 goes down the road above, you know, speed limits in every state all day long, easy. It's never, you know, the 390 can get up to all those speed limits and stuff. You just feel like you're straining.
It takes longer.
And then the acceleration, and that's on road. Once you go off road, that's where traction comes into play. And once you go above, my guess in my world is like 50 horsepower. I don't know a tire, and I don't, you know a traction control system that's going to allow you to have any more feel. I mean, you know, like a good KTM 500, you know, goes about, it will accelerate. Just, you know, you start lining all these bikes up and go down a dirt road and roll it on and stuff like that. It's the guy that's best on the throttle, like rolling it on, that gets up to that wherever traction, decides to stop. Because you can take an 1190 and go like this and go backwards, literally.
Yeah.
You know, you can go like this, and your bike is starting to dig a trench, and the guy that's on the 390 rolls it on and walks away from you. Or a bike that has traction control that senses that stuff, just rolls away.
So is that something that when people call you, like, is that something you ask them, basically, okay, like, what are you doing, what kind of riding, where would you like this power? Is that something you...
Well, no. See, the thing of it is like where you would like the power, you know, was going to come in with like diameters and lengths of headers, types of cams, that sort of thing. As far as like where the way we approach it is basically, we don't approach it like we're going to get you a ton of power and it's all with 100% throttle and it's all at red line. You know, that's a little bit ridiculous. What we do is really these bikes, because of a lot of emission stuff, you know, just conversations for racing purposes only.
Yeah.
Basically, the bikes, because they're so lean on the bottom and closed loop, and these days closed loop is getting larger and larger and larger. It used to be the closed loop was just kind of a smaller portion, up to like maybe 5,000 RPM and 20% throttle, where basically the motor is relegated to running at 14.7 AFR, which is fine, but it's lean. It makes the bike run hot. It makes it run lethargic. It makes it run jerky. So the way we approach it is, what we do is we try to make the bike tractable, run well, run smooth. You know, like if you look at any of the comments on our website, like the reviews of like our dongles or like Power Commanders, most of the comments are like the bike runs so much smoother now. It doesn't stall. It doesn't flame out. It's a lot smoother on the bottom. It's not jerky anymore. The byproduct is power. So really, like Jimmy actually corrected me a number of years ago, and he's like, you keep selling horsepower. You need to sell like tractability and how the thing runs, and it was kind of an accident that I was making. I'm like, you're right, you know. So what the thing of it is that by altering the fuel and getting the fuel to get delivered properly and at the right ratio that is going to make the most tractable and best power, the byproduct is also power. So it's kind of like you can have your cake and
you can have both.
You can have both.
Absolutely have both, and from riding, you know, highly tuned factory race bikes, the best bikes in the world, and having ridden the stock one that's built off of, and realizing, oh, they're getting a lot of power here, but they're making it tractable. They're always making it. It's really rare that you find a good, well-tuned bike, you know, whether it's you know, off-road, we just don't have the traction that they have on-road. So when you're doing something on the pavement or on a dyno, you have a lot of traction to work with. But that often turns to wheel spin. You know, it's not delivered properly. So it's a lot about drivability. And I remember like when we started talking about this, it was like, I can get more. I'm like, no, you don't need more. You need to make that, and it wasn't the horsepower curve, it was the torque curve. You can flatten that sucker out. You get it to about here, whatever that was, and you can just run it flat across there. And that bike it's gonna always, at that point, it's always gonna have pickup, and that's where you start working on throttle response. And
well, the truth is, like, we have a lot of different kinds of customers, and we have the hooligan guys that are totally irresponsible, and they want as much horsepower as they can get, and they don't even know what to do with it. Are we going to say no? We're not going to sell to you? No, of course not. We're going to say yes. We can make a thing for you, for sure. You've got guys. I mean, a lot of what we do makes the bike easier to wheelie. Wheelies are fun, and to have a bike that wheelies easier stirs dopamine. And as we know, we're all in this sport for dopamine. Yeah. No one needs a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, there's.
I do.
Well, you know what the math is.
I need that dopamine. That's how I would get it.
Yeah. Well, you know what the math is for the amount of motorcycles a man should own?
No.
+1. It's always +1.
What about if your wife
It's
likes
a constant.
motorcycles?
+2.
+2.
Right.
But there's all kinds of customers that we try to cater to. We don't like a lot of times we do get pigeonholed in like making power, and it's like no, we do focus on making them tractable. The way you go about both making a bike tractable and making power is really the same. So it's really you kind of get 2 for 1, and so. Do you need it all off road? I mean, these days you can feed all the power you want to a bike, and you've got all the computer stuff that like when I'm on the highway, I really dig a motor that accelerates hard. If I have some guy cutting me off and I've got that much more power to get out of his way before he takes me out, I'm happy about that. I'm not going to complain about that.
Protective power.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times people think scooters are safer. They are not.
George,
you can't get out of the way stuff very fast on a scooter.
He doesn't like scooters. He's beating up on your Vespa.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, George. 104 horsepower is a 1090.
Yeah, so
max.
Yeah, so
that's at 9,000 RPM, and you're always there.
And I was watching like the RPMs, like where I'm riding like the bike, and it's like 25 to 4,000 RPMs. This is where like we just did we did 1,000 miles of adventure riding, and I bet you the time I was above 4,000 RPMs, it was either we were trying to go 80 miles an hour down the highway, which I didn't like doing because I wanted to be out in the dirt riding, but anytime I was off road, it was 25 to 45, and at 45 is where it kind of comes alive. The bike starts to come alive and it starts spinning the tire, and it's like,
that is one thing I hate about adventure bikes is having the tack there. Is when you're off road, you're like, I'm only going 40.
Well, when you buy it when it's brand new, you're running it up at 9 and 10. You're just singing that thing, And then it's like well, that's going to get expensive on tires, so you sort of roll it back a little bit.
We'll sell you more tires.
Yeah, I run a different brand. Yeah, those are good.
Over there.
Those last. Okay.
RC390 is about 41 horsepower.
So 40, 70, and 100.
40,
kind of,
82, 41 for an RC390, 83 for this guy's stock, 84, and then about 104 for 1090.
Man, that 390 really looks like a girl's bike.
Yeah.
In that chart, Mark.
Well, there's girls out there celebrating.
Hey, but you know what? It goes down the road at 75 miles an hour. I think what did we get, 90? What did we do on the dry lake bed?
I think I was going 90 or 8. I got it up to 94, I think.
Yeah, so she's a girl and she got it to 94, so.
The 390?
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty good.
We're
going to roll back into the questions here. I lost my train of thought. I know you have tested different handlebar mounts and handlebars for vibration and dampening. And then Mark Daniels, of course, answered it for me. He said flex bars are the way to go. That would be my first choice. There's a lot of different options, and
I have those on my mountain bike.
The flex bars, the mountain bike ones.
The mountain bike ones.
Dude, that's like when I got them on the motorcycle, the first thing I said is like, you need to make these for mountain bikes.
And they did.
Yeah,
I love them.
And they're really good.
They work.
Yeah, because the mountain bike you like to run a stiffer setting because you don't want it wobbling, so having the bars not affect your rolling. The bike
Well, like some of those like stutter bumps, those braking bumps down the real steep hills, the
Yeah.
fast steep hills. It just some of them. If you have a stiff bar, I mean, your hands almost go numb. They take it, and they're awesome. I love them.
Let's see. Shelby, have you ever tried the twisted engineering handlebars? They seem to me to be the best at reducing sharp hits, but I never heard much about them. Have you tried them out? So is the twisted ones the ones that had...
They were carbon fiber.
They were carbon. I remember they were
They
carbon.
have 3 different like versions of them. I never saw a pair, but I was curious.
Yeah, they never sent them to me. I talked to them a bunch about it, when this kind of thing was happening. But it doesn't have some sort of a shock in the middle. It doesn't have a crossbar with some sort of a shock in there. Or
No,
something, or-
it's just from my understanding, it's
it's
just
just a flexing-
flexible carbon fiber. So they have different
Yeah.
layups that flex more or less.
Yeah.
The only thread that I saw is somebody crashed hard enough and broke one, and there was all this talk about it. Oh, are they safe? It's like, well, I've seen aluminum handlebars break too. I mean, you
Yeah,
crash
yeah,
hard
yeah,
enough,
yeah.
you'll break anything.
Well, you can't design. I was thinking about this today. You can't design something for the crash.
No.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like, okay, tell me how you're going to crash. Give me, how are you going to hit your head? I'll make your helmet have all the things right here to protect it, and the rest of it's just giant vents. You won't even feel like you're wearing a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how you're going to crash, and I'm going to design. You cannot do that. You have to make it to perform for normal riding. So when somebody starts like, I did this on my bike and I had to crash, that's where you start going, okay, what protective equipment did you have, and how good is like skid plates, and we'll talk about some of the Yamaha and certain things that we kind of experienced and learn about different things. So I'm sure people want to know a little bit about the Tenere, and if you ask some questions, we'll get to that. Let's see, Chris, there is a positive response showing up in McCall for the KTM Unrally.
Yeah.
So
So-
the community would appreciate the commerce.
So what is that, Jeff Draw?
No, that's George.
Okay, so what we did is the KTM, understandably so, canceled the KTM rally in McCall, Idaho, which a lot of people were really looking forward to. We completely understand as a large company why they had to do it, the amount of planning that goes into place to do that. They couldn't take the chance, so they canceled. So what we did is we started a Facebook page called, what is it called? I think it's called McCall Rider Rally
McCall Rider
2020.
Rally? Yeah.
And there was a lot of people that were still wanted to go, and so we started a page called McCall Rider Rally 2020. I think. Can you double check that for me, honey?
Yeah, I think it's a group.
And it's a Facebook group, and you can join it. What it is if we feel at the time that it is responsible to go. Again, we understand why KTM had to pull out with all the planning and the money that goes involved in that. But on an individual level, we felt that if it's responsible to go at the time, that we would all still go and meet up and actually plan rides. So we have a friend there, Jeff Draw, awesome guy who he has a ton of routes in Rever that he's willing to share. We can post up on that page. And the idea was to kind of make our own rally, our own awards ceremony, our own, and kind of like use this Facebook group to plan different rides. And a lot of these things, the KTM rallies are awesome, but it's kind of a big family reunion for a lot of people. These are our kind of Moto brothers and sisters that show up to these things.
And George beat me to it. He already posted up there.
2020 Rider Rally McCall, 2020 Rider Rally McCall, Idaho. So George, thank you, George. And it's just a place for people to, talk about still going. I know, the town would appreciate it. And we love seeing everybody. We just didn't want it to go away. So we put that together in the hopes that, and there was quite a bit of, there's like 100 people or 100 something people that said they still want to go. And the KTM rally typically gets 300. So that's roughly a third of that are saying that they still want to go. We understand, a lot of people still had hotel reservations. They had plans. They had already blocked out the time. So we said, hey, let's do this on our own. KTM won't be there, but I know there was talk about you guys possibly showing up if things could happen, doing some schools there, and some other things. We do. Jeff does know a guy there that runs a hotel that might be able to do special rates, things like that. So that's what that's all about.
But it's a meetup. It's not. We're not a corporate event.
It's a
not
meetup.
Sponsored. It's just
Yeah.
a meetup.
Yeah, it's a meetup. There's no money exchange. There's nothing happening. It's just a meetup.
Yeah.
You know.
People are riding on their own. We're
Somebody
not
send
riding
me
together.
info on that. Somebody send me info and I'll blast it on my channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and that's the cool thing about like these rider rallies that we go to every year. The Tour Tech rally was one that was canceled. They canceled it and just pushed it off for the year. And if you're into this sport and you want to learn a little bit more about like people to ride with or things to do or something like that. Again, kind of going back to like I don't even know where the door is. These are often events, awesome events. There's another guy that does a thing called the Noobs Rally. I don't know if you're familiar with this guy named Joel. He's a friend of mine.
I've been wanting to do that actually.
And it's not for us.
Well,
but it's for you to go there. It's not for
Yeah.
it's for you to go there is a guy that knows and so that somebody can come because a lot of times they don't even know where to ask the questions. Like that's what this show is for. It's like we'll take the high level questions. You get something technical and detailed, I'll try to answer it. If you get something that's novice and simple, I'm going to answer it the same way. I'm going to answer it. Hey, I do have a lot of experience with this. I can kind of drill it down to what its basic is. But a lot of the entry level riders just like where do I turn? I think I saw some character just walking your building. Watch out for guys like that. It might be Jon Beck. Is that who it was?
It's Jon Beck. Jon Beck.
Yeah. He's probably jealous. He's probably jealous because he has an African twin too. Are you late?
I'm right on time.
Yeah. So, he probably saw it pop up on Facebook and just hopped on his motorcycle, ripped down here.
Yeah.
John is the one that sat next to me, and we praised the Honda DCT, which if people hate you for that Husky video, they don't like me and John for talking how much we like DCT on the Africa Twin.
Yeah.
We need when we get that bike, we need to go ride it. You haven't ridden one yet.
No.
Yeah.
Well, the standard version's outside.
Yeah, it's interesting. So as the tequila bottle pours, so we have any other questions out there in the thing? I think I have a couple more in my things here.
Let me figure out how to make the words bigger. I can't see.
Gate 95 on our CR450X review says, I can't stop picturing this with two exhaust pipes. So he's talking about the 450X. And I don't know whether he wants to have two exhaust pipes, like then get an RX, right? That would be the simple answer to that. And then YP509, he's talking about the KTM 390. He says, I think this most directly competes with the CRF 250L Rally. Virtually same price with ABS, but the 390 has a color display with more features, adjustable suspension that's not soft, larger gas tank, better stock seat, all things that are almost mandatory upgrades on a 250L besides gearing changes and tire upgrades. Plus it's got more legs on the highway with plenty of spare, where the 250L does not seem to like highway speeds for long, if at all.
He kind of has a point. The one thing that I commended KTM for on that is here you have a bike that's $6,000 and it comes with the most sexiest front end with LEDs, and then they sell a 500 EXC at $12,000.
Yeah.
So that's
with a little display. It's about this.
Right,
big. Yeah.
right, and and it's real cluttered up there, and I mean he kind of has a point.
Yeah. So the funny thing is when you start talking about we're dirt bike tests, we talk a little bit more on the off road side of things, and we still have our 390, and I want to do some stuff with it. Number one, I want to get the foot pegs leveled out. It bothered a few of us to where it's like just level them out. Maybe we'll make them a little bigger. I think that helped the rider cockpit a little bit more. Number two is the cast wheels are not the strongest, and that's where this 250L has a good set of wheels on it, the spoke wheels, and we're trying. So it's like I don't want to make our 390 pretty. I want to get foot pegs and wheels on it, and then start exploring some luggage options and maybe skid plate options. We have cracked the skid plate on it. Did you crack the skid plate?
No. The 250L though I think had better travel as well.
More travel,
stood up higher.
But it all of a sudden it starts feeling more like a dirt bike. It's way more like dirt bike where the 390 it comes from a street bike line, and it's that sort of crossover where it's blending. It's more down the lines of like where it's an adventure bike.
Yeah.
And And that's the trick right now is for us in the adventure bike world, I want them to feel like a dirt bike. And that, the Yamaha that's sitting behind us, like you sit on it and feel it. Sorry. But you haven't ridden it yet.
No, I know, but you're getting me excited.
Yeah.
You're getting me excited on that because that is something I hear constantly is, and we talked about this on the last time I was here, but what is that balance? Are the manufacturers and the engineers being told we want a off-road bike to be more, how am I going to try to, you know what I mean, right?
An adventure bike to be like,
yes.
an adventure bike to feel like a dirt bike, or does it feel like a street
Yes,
bike?
and what power do each manufacturer, who's fighting who, and how many engineers are winning that battle in the theory of that bike?
Yeah. What's the perfect? It's like a unicorn. Who's going to build a unicorn?
Right.
Like you think that KTM would just turn their adventure bike into a dirt bike, and in certain ways they have. Like the 790, like the suspension, it rides like an aggressive. It almost like it rides more like an XC than an EXC. That's the way I feel about it. Mm-hmm. And then you start going, well, but the ergonomics still have a little bit of a on-road feel. You know, they're not as like a Yamaha. I kind of expected the Yamaha to be more swept back, down lower, all this stuff, sit in the pocket kind of a thing. And it does have a
It
taller.
looks like a bit of a chopper to me.
It has a taller seat. Well, it's the visual of the gas tank kind of doesn't do any duties, but the ergonomics. It's like when you ride it, you go, I'm on a dirt bike.
Yeah.
It just straight away that's the way it feels. With the KTM, you still feel like this isn't a dirt bike. You know, just the rider position and stuff like that.
Well, when we did that upshift ride down in Baja, there was probably about 5 790s down there, and mine has got the 270 travel. It's got the tall seat.
Yep.
It's got the rally front end. It's got different handlebars, all this stuff. And I let Randy Commons from Maxima.
15 grand, 17.
Oh
20,
yeah,
20.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It's up there.
So yeah,
it's
so
way up there. But
so Randy,
there's a lot of guys on the 790s, and they kind of have the sweat back bars, and you kind of like this, and you kind of feel cramped. And Randy Collins from Maxima gets on mine, and he's like, I feel like I'm on my 500.
right.
You know, and you can change it.
Well,
It costs some money, but you can change it into something.
But you don't even have to change the suspension. We're just talking about the rider cockpit. Just just angling the bars and maybe having like different foot pegs or something on it or different seat. Like the biggest thing with adventure bikes is because the showroom demands the seat height be low because everybody hops on the bike and they want to plop both their feet down on the ground.
And
Okay.
feel comfortable.
But when you start riding for a long distance, that means most normal people's legs are kind of folded up, and that's not really comfortable. And a lot of people aren't really standing up all that much. When you stand up, like for me, when I'm off road, I don't care about the seat in an adventure bike because I'm never, ever, ever sitting down. I'm always standing up. But when I'm going down the road, I want a tall seat.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my adventure bike that I ride all the time, I actually have a tall seat concept seats on my 1090 that I switch between my 1090 and my 1190. And it's more important for me to have it when I'm road riding than it is for off-road, even though I like it more, but I don't like sitting in that pocket. But then when I'm, people want me to do demos on it, I want the lowest seat I can possible because I'm doing demos, I'm putting a foot down, I'm always wanting, hop over logs or do stuff. So it's like kind of a conundrum. If you're going to do aggressive off-road riding on an adventure bike, you don't want to see, you want to be able to get your feet on the ground. I understand that. So on the showroom, it's an awkward thing to get this bike. Well, okay, now they're so worried about the seat height, where do we put the damn handlebars?
Yeah.
Because they're going to sit there and they're going to go like this, and usually, if they're a little bit rolled back, and it's a tricky thing to get to.
I do think that Honda is hearing us because with that 2020 Africa Twin, they redid the back. It has a dirt bike subframe on it, and I felt as maybe after a week of riding it, it did feel more.
Is the Africa Twin subframe now removable?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And hopefully this is my theory, and let's see what you think. I think that by them making that whole back end more, call it, not as heavy and more dirt bike like, I think we're getting a smaller Africa Twin soon.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
Amen.
It's a big bike.
You've been
John knows. Yeah.
lately,
I rode John. I haven't ridden dirt bike.
and hopefully it'll
Who's
look
that
something
belong
like this.
Honda.
No, what media outlet?
ADV Pulse.
Jon Beck, video, photos, ADV Pulse.
Bike shows up in my driveway, whatever, I'll just crash it.
Yeah. And John's a for-hire journalist. Just put a bike underneath him and he'll go ride. So it's not a small bike. It's still I want to draw a line at like 1,000 cc's and up, and it's still 1,000 cc's and up. It's not a smaller, lighter, more nimble bike. The old one to me felt like just off the top of my head felt smaller and lighter. I don't know because I haven't ridden them back to back.
Standard or the adventure sports?
Either one, just like the older generation to the new generation.
I spent more time on the adventure sports one that we had, and that one, because of the tall seat and the suspension and all that, it felt bulkier to me, I guess.
The older one felt bulkier.
The old one felt bulkier.
Yeah.
The new one feels more nimble to me, I think, and probably because of the frame and the look.
And here's the thing is, I was riding the 700 previous to hopping on that bike up there. So it's like that's like where's your baseline, and it changed. For me, it changes all the time based on what I'm riding and what I'm doing. So. I don't know. Has anybody been asking the adventure bike questions now? Here we go. Got a couple. Steve Conklin. Almost all ADV bikes sport tubeless tires. Could you touch on the benefit of these tires? I'm tempted to convert my tubed tires on the 217 Africa Twin. Any thoughts? You want to go from tubed to tubeless. Well,
And do what with it?
he rides. He does 50-50 on and off road. It's like so. We were all tubes, right?
I think we're tubes.
We were all tubes. I know the Yamaha's all tubes.
Yeah, we brought tubes.
It's simpler, but I had tubes to repair it because a lot of times when you have a problem with a tubeless tire, you end up having to throw a tube in it. You have to take the valve stem out and all this stuff. It's a toss-up. It's a toss-up, right? Everybody here, let's go around the horn. Tubes or not?
Tubes.
Tubes? You like tubes?
Tubeless.
Tubeless is easy to fix with a plug.
Yeah, 50-50. Tubeless in the back.
Tubeless in the back, and then tube in the front. What? Because then you can carry just one front tube and it'll work in both wheels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's stinking. Good job.
Yeah. So it's a
smart one in the room.
Yeah. I don't know.
We converted our race bike to tubes. Well, we actually run mooses in the front, but stuffed them. We had to change them every day.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you're not gonna. And an adventure bike. That's a good. I don't know. I mean, I would whatever it comes with. I'd probably leave it until I had a problem with it, and then I decide how I wanted to fix it. Does that make sense?
And carry a tube.
Yeah, and then carry a tube. Always carry a tube as a backup. To carry a tube and a set of plugs. So. Where are we at here? Mike Stein says, Chris, can you talk about the custom navigation tower mounts for the 790 you have built and tested through your ADV racing program? I saw on the Rottweiler Facebook page you might go with a welded mount versus a bolt-on version. Will it be available for sale in either version?
Will the kit be available for sale in either version?
So, I saw the weld-on one.
Yeah, so what we did is that the racing frame, for these towers to bolt on here, they basically make a billet adapter that adapts the stock mounts to where they want the rally pieces mounted, and then there's a U-bracket that goes around the head stock that kind of holds it all together. So the stock KTM mounts are really weak, those just snap right off. So they put some U-bolt brackets on there, but it's kind of like a stacked on thing. There's a lot of complication to it. You have like a whole bunch of bolts, and for the average guy to buy one of these things, that's exactly what you're going to get, and it's fine. Our rider tends to ride really hard. This little trophy right here is...
Where do you get those made? You get them made from Victor,
Careful,
Mexico?
that thing will break.
Okay, don't hold them like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we've already glued it back together. They shipped it to us and came out in pieces. But this was the Sonora Rally. We were 9 seconds off the podium to Ricky Brayback and Skylar Howes on the 790.
Okay.
So they were a couple hours in front of us, but
Who are
off
those
the
guys?
podium, I don't know.
I get to go riding with one.
I think one of them just won the Dakar for the first time as an American. But anyway, we were 9 seconds off the podium to those guys. So the guy that we have is West Van Nieuwenhuis, and he's a hell of a rider. He just comes from a family, like somewhere in their family tree is a gorilla swinging around. I'm pretty sure they're just big people. And he can throw a bike around like you wouldn't believe. And so when you have that stack up of parts, we ran into a couple problems here and there. We broke a couple of pieces. The kit is awesome, and for just about everybody, it's fine. That's what you're going to put together.
You think about you're putting all that weight out on a pen, out in front of the pendulum and all that thing. And those little brackets are designed to hold a little tiny, like mini iPad thing and some stuff. I mean, even guys that start mounting GPSs and stuff up there could have problems if they're riding off-road aggressively.
Yeah, well, we make like a head brace mount that comes up. It's like a turnbuckle thing that actually holds them to where they can't break off. That's the head brace thing that we do. So we had those on there and some other things. But the complication of the parts is kind of unnecessary if you have a dedicated race bike. So because that race bike is dedicated, we actually hacked everything off the front end, buffed it all off, and we computer CAD designed a new mount that is actually welded to the headstock.
Like what a normal rally bike would have.
Yeah. So any, like, you go to Dakar and any like actual purpose-built rally bike
has a welded on.
Is going to have a welded on thing, and they're not going to have, a billet adapter piece between the rally tower and the stock headstock. That's what you sell to people, and for just about everybody it's just fine. It's for the guy who's putting it together in his house and just wants that kind of tower. I don't think there's a whole lot of people really racing these things. They just don't like the look of that stock headlight, so they want to do a rally version. So, but we're doing an actual TIG welded version. We're also doing a handmade subframe. We're doing 25 subframes for that bike. It'll actually drop about 6 pounds off the bike. So weight loss is a big thing for us. But anyway, we have it back there, and we're just trying to do really trick stuff. There's a trickle down from racing that's going to come from us racing it in racing Sonora. We're doing Best in Desert, Vegas to Reno, and then we're doing the Baja Rally. And so all the stuff that trickles down, we're going to try to pass on to our customers. And the cool thing about these bikes is it's kind of like it's like the old 950s and 990s. You have this crowd that's like hardcore. Yeah. Where they're like, you kind of didn't really see that too much with the 1190. 1090, 1290, it was just like, okay, buy them. But when this came out, you're seeing guys doing some really, off the wall stuff. Right?
Is somebody breaking into your shop right now?
It's the compressor, screw compressor. I know. The compressor. There actually was a break-in yesterday. Two crackheads in the middle of the day.
Really?
Smack dab in the middle of the day, I had a crowbar. I'm trying to get the door open.
And your door?
No, the next door.
Wow.
Yeah.
They grow weed next door?
Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. They don't watch the show, so I can answer that truthfully. So, I think they do.
Everybody's happy. Does a 790 have a 180-degree crank in it? Somebody asked that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It is, yeah. That's what I think it is. Somehow I lost my comments were going in order.
They kind of rearrange them every once in a while.
So Steve says, thank you guys. My takeaway is that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. By the way, Colorado riding is amazing because he just moved up there. The weather is psychotic. Preparation is paramount. Lots of saddle time. And thanks to Jimmy for the training I got at your school. I have a school. It sponsors this show every once in a while. Mm-hmm. But now we're getting better on the...
Steve, what did you mean by the weather is psychotic? Meaning it's all over the place?
Because some days thunder showers. I mean, it's like you can almost like set your watch by the thunder showers in Colorado and the high mountains sometimes. Yeah, you just don't know, and it can be bad. I got rained on riding down here the other night, like Sunday night. Yeah, I got rained on coming in like in June 30th or whatever it is, June 28th. Yeah, 28th. I got rained on in vented gear riding down. Yeah, imagine that. I went the way I told you to go.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
We did,
yeah. That awesome road.
So
yeah.
Do you remember we did that in 2012 for that dirt bike test? For Dirt Rider.
For Dirt Rider, yeah.
With the ADV bikes. Steve Green, you, and it was the fourth guy, I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Anyway, it all came back to me. We filmed it.
Yeah, so you remember those roads. Good roads.
Mark Daniels wants to know why they put cast wheels on the 390.
Cost. Yeah, cost, and that's what they, they had them. Although I have been told that the wheels that we get here in the United States are actually a little bit thicker and a little more robust than the ones that are on the world bike. There's a couple little changes to the bike we have here to make it a little bit.
Did they do that because of the way Americans ride, or because of some DOT standard?
That's a good question. Never asked that. Probably because they knew I was going to ride it. You know, they knew I was bending, right?
Actually, I have a question. The earlier, if it ain't broke, don't fix it comment, was that related to the rally tower, or what was that?
That was related to the tires.
The tires.
The tires.
Got it.
Could have been.
I don't know if I subscribe to that theory.
I don't either.
broke,
Well,
don't
I was
fix it.
thinking the rally tower because
Well, if you
my 1090, you know, how it broke off. So.
Yeah, so that's a known thing on the KTM's, the 1090s, 1190s. You had to keep those bolts that are holding that like kind of the tower and the plastic piece that it's hooked up to and stuff. You had to keep those tight.
Well, mine actually the gussets that the bolts go into broke off
finally
the
broke.
head too. So you had to re-weld the bracket.
You were hitting bumps too hard. You probably bent your rims too.
No, my rings are okay. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
still.
Bad
abusing
idea,
it.
yeah.
Anyway, the bolts sheared off. But Quinn explained they have a fix for it. But your rally tower, that's more like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think it's kind of needed.
Yeah, it depends on what you're using it for. You know, you're at the 10/10 scale. You're the 95th above percentile the way you ride an adventure bike. It's like most people do not ride them where you ride them as much as you ride them off road, especially. Because I'm the same way. But you know, I always kind of take that into consideration. It's like, yeah, it's you know, like if I'm bending rims on my adventure bike, I'm riding it too hard. If I'm bottoming on my suspension out, I'm riding it too hard. You don't go drive your car and hit things and bottom it out. If you would slow down, right?
So Prius on the track isn't cool?
Yeah, no Prius on the track. So I always say that, and people are like, oh, well, but I saw this video, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I was probably one of the guys in the video, and I promise you I didn't bottom it out. I transitioned that jump, or, you know, or I said we get one of these because the bike's going to be broken when it lands, you know. Who knows? I don't know.
I think we tend to get you get caught in a bubble, you know, where like everyone you know is similar to you, so you think that's the whole industry,
Right.
You know, and we try to like get outside of that, you know, like usually what I try to do is throw out my first instinct on something. I try to cast that out because my default mode is what I think, and what I think is vastly different from a majority of the people that are buying stuff from us. You know, it's like I want to do this and I want to do that, and you know, it's like a majority of the people are doing something totally different, so we try to pay attention to that.
And then you end up with your 990.
Yeah.
So a couple things, like Chris, this is a really nice piece of thing here. It looks like an intake manifold out of a KTM 790 made out of carbon fiber. Can I buy this tomorrow?
You can buy it about a month or two.
In about a month. So
Yeah.
you're displaying stuff that's not available.
Yeah.
And
Trying to whet the
and
appetite.
that's the other.
This is
That's the rest of the airbox.
That's the splash guard there. There's a few pieces, a few things that we're trying to get together. A lot of people have been really excited to get these, to get something on the market. This is the prototype filter. It's not the final one, but it's pretty close.
Those are for the 790?
It has an R on it.
It does.
Yeah, it
does.
means rear.
That means
Is that what somebody
this
said?
means this goes rough.
Rough?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So-
But yeah, I mean, look, advantages are basically you can pack spares filters, which you can't do that with paper. If you submerge the bike, you know, it's a lot easier to clean out a foam filter and take it off by hand.
Two things you shouldn't do on an adventure bike. Actually, on your adventure bike, your filter should never ever get dirty.
My buddy...
Unless you're racing in Baja winning, or mainland Mexico winning trophies, then your filter might get dirty.
My buddy Fire Freddy just bought a 790 Rally.
Mm-hmm.
And does the Rally come with like something
No, it's
aftermarket?
the same.
So this... Okay.
It's the same. So there's a couple pounds of weight loss with this. You can basically carry spare filters, which you can't with paper.
But you're getting more horsepower out of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is basically a velocity stack into two
Oh, here we
velocity
go.
stacks.
You can get 90 horsepower.
Really?
horsepower.
Yeah,
I'm
you can
looking
spin
for
the-
100.
You can,
Yeah.
you can spin the tire right off that
Yeah.
thing.
Called
But you
1190.
pop really good.
Pop really good wheelies.
I'm a parking lot rider, so I like to do lots of tricks up and down the street,
Yeah.
as long as it gets that front end up.
Okay,
Do
so
you have retail? Do you have retail to kind of put out there, or not yet?
Yeah, we're getting close. I think the carbon version is going to be around $650.
Okay.
We did a thing where if you bought our power plate, which is like a pre-filter system, 100% of your purchase price of that can be credited towards this.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
kind of an upgrade program that we're doing for our customers to show faith in us and buy our stuff. We're also going to do a plastic version that's going to be about half that.
Okay.
So it's you know, this is obviously the bespoke product. We're going to call this, I think we're going to call it the Rally, you know, because it's like more of a bespoke race product.
That's what Fire Freddy's bike should come with.
Well, I was just going to say, Freddie, if you're listening, how dare you buy plastic for the rally since you've already
Let's do a
went.
project like
Right?
with dirt bike tests because we can work that.
Well,
in.
we're going to talk about that, Freddie, because actually Jimmy needs your bike for probably 4 to 6 weeks.
a recluse clutch too.
Okay.
I need one of those.
There you go.
Yep. Probably need some fuel range, extra fuel range. Find something for that.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff. Need some protection, better protection for the.
And since they're cutting firefighters' wages,
No.
he's not going to be working much anymore. So.
Why we're not gonna have fires anymore? COVID is extinguishing fires these days. Good job. Hey Chris, I'm gonna ask you to allow Heather to come into the picture here.
Okay.
Because we're gonna talk a little bit about Tenere.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about Yamaha in your shop, so you can go over there and plug your ears.
I can
Okay.
sit on the bike.
You can sit. No, you're gonna sit right here next to me. He's probably gonna start pushing buttons. He's playing he's playing some video games on his phone.
Oh, it's on.
So everybody back on the show is Heather Lewis. This is my wife.
Hello.
So she is the current expert in the group on the Yamaha Tenere 700, which we just spent how many miles on? Over 1,000.
1,000 or more miles.
And we're probably going to sit down and maybe do the bike test right after. So I'm just warming you up for that live on the air on the show.
Okay.
How do you like that?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. So why is the Tenere better than the KTM? Watch out! The whole audience stood up and went like.
I think it all has to do with what type of rider you are.
What type of girl you are?
No, what type of rider?
It's a girl's bike?
Yes, they're both girls' bikes. No, I'm just kidding.
I think they're all great.
Yeah.
It all has to do with the
I'm not a
type
hater.
of rider you are. I'm an emotional rider, so I cry a lot and. No, I'm just kidding. I don't cry.
That's the old days.
Yes. Now I don't. Now I don't cry. Now I just.
Years
now I
of
just
counseling.
cuss at you.
Yeah. Okay.
I no longer cry.
That's why now we quit wearing the helmet communicators and stuff now. But now we started wearing them on this trip, and that's all I heard.
I did not.
No.
The warning I gave you was I only have 1 hour left in me because we had been riding for like 6 hours already after we didn't start until later, and we'd done about 400 miles, and we almost ran out of gas.
Yeah.
We almost went another.
Well, no, we would have. We absolutely
run out of gas,
would
but
have run out
it's
of gas because we came to this. We were riding along the Transcontinental Railroad around the backside of the Great Salt Lake, and so we gone out on the Salt Lake and shot some videos and stuff, and we were shooting photos, and we were stopping and reading every other sign because we knew we had to kind of get going because. We didn't want to camp out there because it was kind of hot and
middle
windy.
of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere. We wanted to get up in the trees and someplace a little nicer to camp. So we were riding around there and we got to this one, the end of it was right when we got into Nevada. Mm-hmm. And there was the main sign that showed the map and all the stuff, the kiosk. And she goes, "Hey, my
light's blinking.
My light's blinking for fuel." And I'm like, "What? So quick?" And then I'm like, "Oh, we've done 198 miles." Like it was a lot of miles. But my KTM, the fuel gauge is broken on it, so it says full all the time. And
He's got a fix for that.
And yeah, you sand it. You just sand it down, right? Yeah. So I haven't done it. I'm just lazy. So I just looked at the odometer, but I didn't look at the odometer because I was having so much fun just checking out the sights and seeing the. It was really fun ride. That was a great.
Ride,
that's a great adventure bike road.
Yeah, perfect adventure bike road.
And she goes, "Hey, my light came." I'm like, "What?" So I in my head I was thinking 100 miles and it was 200 miles. It was really bad. And so I'm like, okay, and we pull out the map. It's like, where can we get gas? I hope this little town in Nevada has gas because there's only.
Well, and they're a little town that's 50 miles from one location and 50 miles from the other town. And
but we were going to go. We were going to go the way it was 100
we were
some
going to go
miles.
the long way.
The long way.
Yeah, which
we never would have made it. Neither of us.
Camping
Oh
in the
yeah, we
desert.
would have been waiting for nobody to come.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
so we went to a bar.
So that was the smart thing.
Yeah.
We rode to town. Gas station's closed 5 minutes ago. Nobody's ghost town at that point, but the bar's open down the street. Lots of cars there. One street in town. So we went and rolled into the bar. And sure enough, the guy was able to come out and give us 2.5 gallons of gas, which is easily enough to get us over to
the other location.
To Wells. Yeah, we rode into Wells at that point and filled up, and then she goes, I have 1 hour left in me. And I mean, she used to never say that. She never budget it. She would just go all the way till she had nothing left in her, and then 10 minutes more, and then tell me, I'm done. And it's like, no, we have another hour. We have another hour to go. So it's like learned communication. Yeah. So anyway, so we rode out and found a cow pasture up on a hill and threw tent up in the hill.
Mm-hmm. Slept on the cow.
Winning. Yeah, winning. Yeah. So that's our story about like where we went and rode. But we're gonna do we'll do the full test, the full video test on the bike here. But you like it?
I do. I actually, the first thing when I got on it, the first thing I always do when I get on a bike is I want to test the brakes to make sure that I'm not gonna eat shit when I do use the brakes.
Right.
And I want to feel, especially for a long ride, I want to feel how the seat is feeling, because for me, the KTM has a wide seat. And because I'm a girl and I'm a little shorter than most guys, that being able to touch the ground is important, but it's also the width of the seat is really intimidating, because when it's so wide, you lose a little bit of distance between the ground and the distance.
And you rode the Yamaha with the tall seat.
And the Yamaha with the tall seat. I know, I liked it.
Yeah.
But it's narrow.
At 5'8".
Yeah. I'm 5'7". So it's narrow, so that gave me that confidence, and it also is just more comfortable, and it felt like a dirt bike. And then so what I did was I rode out dirt road, went to the dry lake bed, tested the brakes, and then tested like the hoops going in and out of going back and forth between our property in Nevada. And it felt so light, and the suspension on the front end felt really light, where usually the KTM, to me, felt intimidating, partly because the shape of the gas tank is so large, that visually that kind of intimidates you, where this, it wasn't intimidating. Maybe it's the coloring, I'm not sure, but it wasn't. And then the front end felt light and loose to where I can maneuver it, and I didn't feel like the bike was going to fall over when I turned the bars. So I liked it, and that's why I liked it.
Yeah.
That was my first impression, but then riding it for 1,000 miles, I liked it. I did street and dirt.
So did you the narrow seat? Did that was it comfortable all day?
Yeah, because I think the tall seat helps because
it's got more
my
cushion.
knees. Yeah, I was able to
specify. Is that the tall seat an aftermarket
It's
seat?
It's a Yamaha accessory.
Okay.
Yeah, and I asked for it specifically because I knew we were going to do a long ride.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And I knew the stock seat's okay, but that's just way better. I like having both feet on the ground. I would be asking if you're out of control right now. Yeah.
Well, they have the aftermarket, the power parts for the 790. It takes the flat one, and it is higher, but what it does is it does that.
Then that's better.
Yeah.
I think
So it's a little bit of a
usually,
trade-off.
yeah, it is a trade-off. But like the seats we have on home on ours, it is the fat one.
Oh
it's
yeah,
flat
yeah. No,
fat,
well that's
so,
a 1090, and that's back to be with. It's funny.
Yeah.
I rode the 1090 or 1190 most of the way back, and I had my big seat on it. And when I rode this home the other night, I was like, I wish there was a little more.
Something to sit on.
Think about it. I did 2.5 hours of freeway.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like moving around a little bit.
You do kind of get, yeah.
And on my big fat seat, it's like it's
nice,
but
yeah.
it doesn't. And when I'm off road, it doesn't really bother me because I'm standing up. But when I'm sitting down, I don't mind having that extra seat.
Yeah.
But I don't have to worry about getting my feet on the ground. I can get my foot on the ground with that extra.
And the other thing about
helps.
having a wider seat for me is, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the girl's gear gets stuck. Like you can't slide off the bike really easily.
No, everything's geared, and
Yeah.
like it just depends on like how the crotch is cut in the pants and things. So you.
Well, I also rode it on the street. I rode a twisty road called the Beartooth Pass up in Wyoming to Montana, and that was 200-mile day on nice twisty roads where like full 180 hairpin turns, and it was super comfortable. And that went to 11,000 feet, which I was worried about. Is it going to have problems with the motor, and is it going to fog or
yeah.
power, have different power level, and it was perfect.
Oh, what did you say when you rode off the dry lake bed? Like or off the salt flat, up the sand dune, up the sand dune. What'd you say to me?
I was like, I think I like the traction control, but there's no traction control.
This is funny. There's no traction control in this bike, and
but
this
it felt like it.
This is the thing we'll talk about in the motor. The motor, it literally, it feels like it has traction control, but it doesn't. It's just the way that it works. Like if you're below 4,000 RPM, you can turn the throttle a ton, and it just doesn't. It doesn't spin. It's like you selected the perfect traction mode on a bike that has more traction controls, where it's really good. But yeah, overall pretty happy in the suspension.
Now let me, sorry to interrupt, but
No,
now so did you get any like rocks or stuff where you had to dab a foot? What did it feel heavy? Did you almost drop it at any point?
No,
How did that all?
I didn't have any problems with that. I mean, the closest to that was the sand sections that we rode. We also rode on dirt roads. I rode a couple of roads that had bad silt. And the silt things, and it felt fine. I didn't have any problems with that. We did ride rocky because there was a section that we had some rocks, and I didn't have that feeling of
Like up to where we can't.
Yeah.
Like in those ruts
Yeah.
and those rocks and stuff like that.
It was rocky, but for me, I ride an adventure bike slower, so
So
I'm not
that
hitting
anxiety of like, say if you were on a
big bike.
1250,
No,
you're like, oh, I may fall here. I better pay attention.
No.
That was less
Yeah.
on this.
I think because you feel like the bike, you feel like you're on a dirt bike.
Yeah.
It's that feeling, and so it's like almost gives you that confidence that it's like maybe it's a faux confidence, but it gives you that better feeling. So, but I did ride the Honda Africa Twin for a bit, and it has a similar feel too. It felt thinner.
You rode your bike?
The new one. I rode his bike around. Yeah, he was riding the Tenere, so I stole a little jolt on his.
Oh, yeah, you stole his bike too? Yeah, I do too.
So,
It's just getting lost in the mountains all the time.
so
So it's the same thing.
it's the same thing.
And that's the
I
thing,
think
they're
it's just the
starting to
narrow
learn
bike
about
makes
narrow,
it feels
yeah.
better, and then the non-intimidating cockpit makes it feel better. So, but I like the smooth. So I rode on the street bike ride. I rode the 790 and the Tenere, the 700, and the feeling of the throttle like the power, how the power is applied. It's that nice, smooth, mellow power in the 700, where the 790 is like that get up and go, just kind of it hits right hard, and some people like that. So that's why I say it depends on what kind of bike you like or what kind of rider you are.
That's a really important thing what she just said right there, and I always like to bring this down. It's not good or bad. One's not better than the other.
It's the type of rider.
It's a different character. Like,
Yeah.
It's like chocolate and vanilla. There's two different flavors of ice
Because
cream.
that hit, people don't realize this, but after 8 hours in the
You
mountains,
can be tired.
it tires you out.
Yeah.
And the KTMs are typically more
Exciting.
Exciting,
Yeah,
exactly.
they
Yeah.
rev up.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Like,
Yeah.
the more you tend to like want to feel like you want to be in a race bike, which I never want to be. And I'm the guy that raced quote adventure bike. I raced twin cylinder rally bikes. They weren't like these things. They weren't anything like this. But the more you want to ride a race bike, the more you want to lean towards the KTM. The more you want something that's a little less like that, then there's a lot of other options. And KTM kind of sets themselves that way. That's why it says ready to race in their thing. That's the DNA that they have. That's the way that they build things. But it's funny because Yamaha sort of positioned and showcased this bike as, look at it, it's our racing adventure bike. They had a lot of videos early on of the concept, like the T7 concept, and they showed it that way. And I don't think they disappointed at all. And this is probably the best way to break it down. It's like it has all those characters, it has all the ability to do that kind of stuff, but it's not so sharp edged.
Yeah, it has a smooth edge.
I think the motor is brilliant without any technology to it. The suspension is exactly where it needs to be. It's just stiff enough to be comfortable without going overboard and being on bricks. I think they just did a really good job, and you can. It depends on what you want to do. If I go adventure riding, I'm more in that category than this category. If I'm doing 1,000, if I know I'm going to do 1,000 miles, if I'm going to do short 50 and 60 mile stints or something like that, this wins in the excitement level all day long. But like I say, after 10 minutes, I don't care what I'm on. I'm just going to adapt to it.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be super comfortable.
I think one thing that the rider who wants to be to have feel that torque right off the bottom, that
The
gets them out
snap.
of trouble. That snap, you don't feel that snap on the Tenere, but you do get the
But
performance.
it's there. Dude, when
but you
I-
have to really gas it. So for me, sometimes you know how I'm like, I don't gas it enough up the hill.
Yeah.
I kind of let off when I really should be giving it gas.
Yeah.
That might bite me in the butt because I'm not gonna give it up to that power. I don't know, but
It's a 700.
Yeah.
Well, the road I rode yesterday was a pretty technical little dirt road, and I was thinking the whole time I'm riding down here, it's like, because I've ridden the KTM on it, and the whole time I'm going, well, which did I actually prefer? Which one performed better? And they both did the exact same thing. It was just I just changed my I adapted
Yeah.
a little bit to it, and so that's where it's at. So now you get to.
now I get to move. I'm good, thank you.
We're gonna call John in. We're gonna talk Honda because you two guys can talk. So that's the other adventure bike we're talking about here. Can talk.
What does it say?
You are.
So everybody remembers Jon Beck. This is Jon Beck. John's helped us at Dirt Bike Tests shooting photos, or beautiful photos, awesome videos every once in a while. And he's the guy you can send all the hate mail to for telling you that DCT is the best thing ever. But I agree with him. No, actually, it's an excellent option. So the same reason we talk about what the certain characters we like about this thing, we don't have the DCT Honda yet. None of us have ridden it, the new one. And
I've never even ridden that technology, so
Yeah.
I really don't even know what it does.
It's like an automatic transmission for your motorcycle. It does all the shifting for you. It's like you get a recluse clutch.
Yeah.
And it shifts for you. So like a regular recluse clutch,
So
it
you
doesn't do the
just hit the
shifting.
gas and you just
Just
do
gas
this
and
all
go.
day.
It's like a car.
Gas
Yeah,
and
also
go.
paddle shifter, so you can override the system when you want. I actually just came back from Baja and we had both the 2020 DCT and.
Oh, so you've ridden it?
I have, briefly, but yeah.
Okay. Is it better than the old one?
Yes, but I wouldn't say because of the DCT system itself, because the chassis itself is different than the one we rode was the Adventure Sport, so it had the taller suspension.
Right.
And for my taste, honestly, the taller suspension felt a little bit wallowy and soft kind of because it was so tall, and the whole bike just felt more bulky, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
The new one, because they've lowered the suspension and I guess they share it, it's more of an adventure bike, I guess. So it felt more like a touring bike.
But I'm just back to DCT. We'll get into the bike in general. But I thought when we rode the early one, the original Average Twin, my thing was, this is good, but I know it can be better. I know it can shift better. Because remember, there's all these different modes.
Yeah.
And that's, you didn't have time to play with it in the new
No.
one. I remember how we found a mode that was like, that's pretty good, but it can be that much better.
Yeah, the S option.
It was all these different, and that's the other thing. I think you need a degree in buttonology to operate the Honda. It's not just on or off. There's a lot of different buttons to push.
I think it's what I wrote in the new review. It depends on how good of a programmer you are, how much you're going to get out of the bike.
Where do you find that?
It's not up yet. I just
okay.
actually I was writing it
on the way home, and
then before I came here.
And then it popped up on your feed that you had to come down here.
Yeah, all this barrage of text messages like, "Where are you?" It's like, I'm smoking cigars right in the store. What are you guys doing?
We're in Rottweiler. Yeah. So where will we find that?
Eventually, it'll be on ADV Pulse.
ADV Pulse. Okay, so if you want to see John's impression of ADV Pulse, which is second only to like what I'm going to say about it when I finally get to ride it, right? I'm an ass. Push the button, the one that says I'm an ass. What an ass.
It's got to be in there. There's
Come
an app
on.
for that.
You didn't hit it already?
You are one pathetic loser.
That's close.
Anyways, and so I'm gonna get the bike from Mark tonight, and then I'll probably go out and ride a little bit, and then we're gonna schedule to go swap the bike so we can do a day ride between the DCT and the non-DCT.
That'd be cool.
Because everybody says, you guys are a marketing stooges for Honda, there's no way DCT is better. And it's like, well, if I was going adventure riding, I would probably choose that. Because there was a couple times when we were out on our ride, and I'm like, I just wanted to be lazy and look at the scenery and do all the stuff.
You do, after 1,000 miles, and I'm new to this, one thing that I had in my mind was, great, So now the manufacturers are going to try to figure out what I like in power, how I like my power delivered, all this stuff. But then I started riding, and I'm like, I'm sick of shifting. Right? Because and especially if you're crossing Nevada and you have to get
There's
300
times when
miles.
you just want to pull up to a stop, and you just pull up to a stop, and your bike is. You don't have to pull a clutch in. You don't have to downshift. You just pull up to a stop and it's ready to go. It's actually pretty cool. I mean, there's something about motorcycle riding where you want to be active and doing all this kind of stuff. And there was a time when Honda was actually trying to develop an automatic transmission motocross bike because their engineers felt it could be better. The riders never even bought off an arena. When I was racing for BMW in my Dakar bike, they asked me if I wanted shifting up here at my thumb. They wanted to know if I wanted to shift the bike up there. I'm like, no way. No, I didn't want to do it. Now, after riding that bike and using the paddle shifters, I'm like, why didn't I do it? Because they could have done it. They had the technology and the capability to do this. And I'm like, why didn't I do that? Because it was just like, but this is what I'm used to.
You know why? Because
You are an idiot.
No, because there could have been. You know why I didn't do it? Because the method I was using was what I was used to, and it was proven. And we're just adding one more, in racing, adding one more stream of failure. But the same thing, when it comes to production stuff, they test this stuff.
I think that's some of the pushback that technology gets to as well, is because it's a new thing for the motorcycle industry, especially for adventure bikes. I mean, street bikes, automatic shifting's been around for a bit, not so much in adventure bikes, but I think we talked about before, look at, I don't know when it was, the 40s or 50s when the first Hydroglide automatic transmissions came out in cars, and how many people were probably trying to kick through the floorboards of their car looking for a shifter, right? But now the technology is standard, everyone's accepted it, it's
buy a
normal.
stick shift car anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Go try and find one. So I can see that technology eventually moving to motorcycles. And I was asked that question directly recently: is if you were going to buy one, which would you prefer? And for my part, simply because RDO in a 1090 and other, I have those bikes for that. But for general riding, I probably want the DCT because it's just so cool and relaxing to ride.
But when you put it like a recluse clutch in one of these big bikes, which they have,
Right.
they have the quick shifting, which is clutchless. You almost never touch the clutch.
Yeah, you still have to move your foot. I mean, it's so funny. This is how lazy we become. This is what all this technology does. It allows us to be lazier. And here's the problem. It's like it doesn't shift exactly where I want it to. This is the problem with DCT. It doesn't shift where Jimmy shifts. It shifts either here or here, or Jimmy would shift here, or here and here, and Jimmy would shift here. And so it's not perfect. So I'm like going kind of shift. In the beginning, I'm going kind of shift. Oh wait. It's not. Why isn't it shifting? It should shift. You're doing this thing, and then after 2 hours on the bike, you're like, you care less.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing, and then like
I wonder if
we have.
they'll eventually.
And I'm hoping the new one shifts where Jimmy would shift because that's the way it should shift.
What's interesting?
It's going to learn your maybe a computer that'll learn your throttle application.
Yeah.
I thought the DCT, I think, helped me learn to shift the standard version too, because especially on the 1100, the new Africa Twin, there's so much, to my thinking, so much more torque than the old one.
Yeah.
That if you're in, tour mode, I think on the DCT, it would bang through 4 or 5 gears before you even cross an intersection. That's how much torque it took. So what I started doing on the manual is I was like, well, I remember what the DCT would do. I would bang through the gears really quick, plenty of torque, and but it doesn't feel right because the RPMs aren't there.
Here's the thing for recluse clutches, by the way. This is what a recluse clutch will teach a normal rider. When I watch guys that have never ridden a recluse, by the way, the only person that doesn't like a recluse clutch, you don't like a recluse, do you?
I love them.
Oh, you love them?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Who doesn't like a recluse clutch? You don't. Have you ever ridden with one?
Yeah.
Very much?
Enough.
Enough? Okay. That's really strange. I like having next show. I'm going to have you over sitting over here. We're going to discuss that. But you don't have any experience.
I raced with one a couple times and I didn't like it.
In fact, that's the old days.
Yeah, it was the old days. Yeah.
Yeah, different.
The new stuff is incredible.
Is it?
Yeah.
So
And that may be the case too.
oh, were you old days too? You
Yeah.
gave up on them when they were like they wouldn't
4 years ago.
They
4 or 5 years ago.
should have been good back then. Yeah. So the funny thing is when you watch guys that don't ride, that have never ridden with a recluse or don't have one, you hear them. Their RPM is so high that it's too much power when they finally let the clutch out, and then it grabs, and then they pull the clutch in, slip. It's on and off. And then you listen to the guy in the cruise and goes, they sound like Graham Jarvis all of a sudden. They have incredible clutch control. And this kind of goes back to exactly what you're saying. Is like you don't realize that you can upshift and let the trust. I always say trust the torque. There's a lot of torque in that motorcycle and will pull you through. The problem with that is on a Recluse you can put it in fourth gear and it'll clutch you out of the intersection like 3 or 4 times. You know, because it'll slip the hell out of the clutch and will generate heat. You got to be in the right gear with a Recluse. That's the difference. And like you said, with quick shifting and stuff now, it's amazing. Even the 390 has quick shift, which for us was funny. We were noticing the bike did a weird bog because our foot was touching the shift lever.
Oh yeah.
And it happened to everybody, right?
What's
I
going on
didn't.
there?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You didn't notice it.
I didn't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Few of us rode 390 and our foot touched the shift lever and it activated quick shift, but we really weren't shifting, and we're like, hey, where's this bog coming from? Because it's cutting the ignition.
When you rode my 990 from my old shop, I forgot to tell you there was a quick shifter on
No,
it.
you
But it
told
was
me.
no, I
It
didn't.
was an aftermarket one.
I told you after. You went running. You're like, hey man, this thing cuts out.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you because your boot was tapping it.
Yeah.
And it cut out. You have to kind of relearn how to shift.
Right.
You got to get down underneath it and do it a purposeful pull through.
Yeah.
You can't just kind of play with it like you used to. You have to get under it and boom.
So
You know?
I've learned that because of what I do with my feet and stuff like that, because I'm always ready to shift and I might be just having it halfway engaged or something, I have a hard time riding with quick shift. It's brilliant when you just want to just like show everybody how bitching you are and do and bang some shifts and stuff like that. But for me off road, my foot's moving around and stuff like that, it's an awkward
Well,
situation.
we tested it on the race bike with Wes.
Yeah.
We went out to Palm Springs. I said, let's go out and let's test with and without the quick shift. And we came back unanimously, quick shift is way better. And we did the whole Sonora rally with it. The only problem with that is you in rally mode, he had a hard time in the dunes because the bike going up the dunes, the bike would constantly roll off the throttle. So we had to take the rear ABS sensor off and zip tie it back.
Because it wouldn't allow the full,
wouldn't allow
the wide open bang downshift.
Yeah.
Where you could do it with a clutch.
Yeah, the second day was like half dunes, and he's like, hey man, I was really struggling with the bike. It just kept throttling me back. He was getting real frustrated.
Yeah.
So we took that off. The problem is on that bike, as soon as you do that, you lose quick shift.
Yeah.
As soon as there's a problem with ABS, it cuts quick shift. So he lost that, but he did like the quick shift because it was a lot easier on the transmission, and it was But sometimes with boots, it can get a little bit funky because you have no feel, and he kept kind of sometimes you can bump them.
Yeah, you just tap it.
Okay,
I do remember that with
Yeah.
because I think it was your 1290. You told me when I rode away. It's like, dude, it has a quick shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that thing just wanted to loop out. Again, way too much horsepower, but it was worth every penny. So, but anyways, so overall, the Honda, what do you guys think?
For the standard model, I think they are headed in the right direction. And like I said, just looking at the bike and studying what they changed from the original version, I'm excited. I really hope, because that bike out there is for a guy who's going to go past 500 miles, more bigger trips. But for me, 2-3 day Baja trips or around here, I think a Africa 700 would be amazing. And I think, like I said, studying what they're changing on the bike, I think those parts that they've changed, hopefully there's one behind the curtain that's going to match. So that's my bet. I'm thinking and hoping. But the bike's amazing. It has a dirt feel, that standard model. My video will explain everything, and it'll also be on the site.
I think George posted that thing up, and then John, you've ridden both of them, so you probably have more time on them than both of us.
Well, the standard version, a lot of time. I've been doing a lot of camping trips on. And actually, you guys earlier were talking, a lot of stuff you said earlier really reflects my thinking on it, because the bike is almost fractured in a sense. You're talking about how dual sports are sort of neither here nor there machines, because they're trying to be street and dirt.
Yep.
And that's what's so bizarre about this bike. It was really tough for me to put it in any one category, because it has that dirt bike feel, but at the same time, it's got no heated grips, but it can send text messages. It's got a rally windscreen, but a giant TFT with Bluetooth. It's got a dirt bike subframe, but cruise control. It's like, well, what is this thing?
Yeah.
So it kind of has aspects of everything.
That's and I said I needed a degree to learn how to do the fingerology. To when I got on your bike, I rode it down. I went and rode through this little sand wash over there. I literally almost got stuck because the traction controls kicked in, and I'm like, how do I turn it off? And I rode into the thing, and I'm like pushing buttons, and I'm like,
well, I offered it. If you had 20 minutes, I could have explained it to you.
Well, I came back and I said, John, I might have messed up your thing because I pushed like 20 buttons and nothing happened. But something might have happened. But so hey, this is
Once
all
you get into the system.
This is all stuff we'll get into when we start doing
Did you have a
full
problem
tests.
with that navigating their software, or
At first, because it's 100% non-intuitive, so yes.
Okay.
The editor fortunately removed it, but I actually wrote, here's an experience with the Apple Twin computer, and there's this long thing, and he took that out, fortunately. But because the interface, there's some very seriously non-intuitive aspects to it, but that sounds critical, but at the same time, I don't think it is, because if you want
once you learn, it's like anything. Here's a problem that I always tell people. It's like you got to realize that we ride a lot of different bikes,
right?
And we never get used to one.
Right.
You might have your own. I mean, I have my own personal bikes, and it's funny. Over the last year and a half, I've got a chance to ride some of my personal bikes and really get them dialed in. I start liking them, and then I go ride something else that's a test bike. And I'm like, because it's not mine. The buttons aren't, the grips aren't, the handlebars aren't exactly where I want them. But when it's your bike and you learn this, your thumb, your button pushing, your routine becomes.
Well, between the ride modes and the display modes, you've got 18 different screen options to play with, and within each one of those, there's a myriad of options buried in each one. So it's this morass of, and you can configure the bike into anything.
And it's awesome. You can configure it, and then it's almost like your phones and stuff these days, the way you set up your apps and all that stuff. You configure it to your setting, and you probably don't change it much after that. Maybe you figure out your way to rifle through your three favorite, and then
there's a favorites button for that.
You're all and that's what he was telling me. He goes, oh, dude, I can tell you, so he can tell me in 8 minutes, he said.
Okay.
He said in 8 minutes he could teach me.
I'm distilled down. In the end of the thing, I wrote that I distilled it down to 3 modes that I preferred. There was one for basic, sort of general riding, one for off-road, and one for twisty pavement.
Perfect.
And in the end, after going through all this stuff and playing with the settings, I found like these are the 3 things that the bike is distinctly different, and I kind of always chose between those 3.
That's you said about a way to set up a bike. That'd be the thing. I'd have a twisty pavement, a cruising, and an off-road.
That's exactly That's what it came down to.
So it's on my hyper sport mode, whatever. But yeah.
So where to put it? It depends on you can kind of configure it to what you want it to be. It's not a touring bike like a GS. It's not a off-road aggressive thing like a 1090. I'm going in a leader bike in a lower class. But it kind of has aspects of both of those, and it depends on how you tune the computer. So it's a tough one to place.
I will give a nugget to Jimmy is we took the 790 and the Honda back to back on a bombed out fire road, and all 3 of us liked the Honda suspension over the 790.
Oh wow! I'm super excited.
And I was
about
shocked. I was like, "Are you serious?" Because Freddie spent the money.
Yeah.
he bought the route.
Well, that should both piss me off in one aspect and then excite me in the other.
But
that's where we start talking about more comfort. Comfort.
Yeah.
I don't want to say softer because it's funny because softer is terminology is bad.
True.
It's not good or bad. It is softer. It's more plush. But plush can be bad.
The old bike did feel wallowy to me. It was way soft. It was genuinely soft, I thought, at least on the Adventure Sports version, whereas the new one, I guess they've redone the spring rate, the damping, and changed the amount of oil and all kinds of stuff where it uses the travel better now.
What about aesthetics? Like, nobody ever talks about aesthetics. They talk about suspension, they talk about these other things. We got all these different bikes. I mean, aesthetics that's an important thing for people because
I don't.
You're ugly, and you're ugly, and your mother ugly, and your sister ugly. You just plain old ugly.
Well, I don't look at my bike when I'm riding it, which is probably different than most people.
Well,
sometimes I see people adjusting their mirrors so they can look at themselves and look at their bike, but I don't do that, so I don't care. You have to look at me, so that aesthetics is important to you and not me.
Well, I mean,
or you see dust.
I just never hear anyone talk about aesthetics, and there's like that showroom thing, and we're talking about you, and then you can get back into that bubble of like, this is what you care about, but aesthetics are an important thing to some people.
I look at that. I actually, to go back to the KTM of what Heather said, the way the mount is with the dash on the KTM. It bugs me. It as I'm riding and I'm turning and that thing's, it doesn't rattle, but it's there. Where the Honda is built in, and I'm used to that.
Like an old
And when I look at the Yamaha, there's certain ways I look at it. I do not like it.
It goes into the
Like you said, what you said, chopper-like.
Yeah.
You know, there's a certain look to it. It's almost like they've got those panels on the side of the gas tank that sort of make it look like it's an aluminum frame-ish thing, and then this big black thing comes out of that. I don't really like the way this bike looks, but there's certain ways I can look at it 3/4 angle in the front and I go, that looks good. And the headlights look really good. But
Yeah.
but there's the KTM just look like it's gonna it's gnarly and aggressive and
Yeah, they failed miserably on the headlight as far as I'm concerned. I'm totally willing to say that out loud.
Yeah.
It just
the
stock headlight.
that sort of
They should have brought it together somehow, even if it was just some thin stuff. They should have brought it together. The aftermarket companies did it, and they made an improvement. But it's a lot of people, like, you look at the Facebook groups, and there's a lot of guys that are just posting these glamour pictures of their bikes.
Yeah.
And as much as you want to make fun of that, that's a customer too.
No.
And they're buying the bike for that reason.
Make fun of me for not looking at my motorcycle or bringing a dirty motorcycle into your shop.
Actually, that's one thing. It's funny you mentioned aesthetics. Is in the Africa Twin thing, given it's so configurable between the dirt and street worlds. One of the opinions that came up with is just the idea that it might even boil down to purely aesthetics. Because when you buy the bike, you can kind of just push enough buttons to sort of tune it to the type of riding you want to make it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's where we're going. I think that's where, ideally, every manufacturer has a different system. Yamaha's probably on the minimalist size with this bike. KTM has a certain amount. Honda's like way out there, and BMW has a whole bunch of different stuff. And there's a lot of, and it just might be the point where you can, and that's bitching, that you can say, hey, I want a little more aggressive. I can push this button, and as it gets better, it'll get better. So. I think we've gone long in this one, huh?
We killed the computer.
We killed your computer. 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours.
Well, it's because adventure bikes are big and there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But I'd like to thank Chris for having us in here. Thanks again.
Yeah.
The tequila was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And John for stopping by. Berm Cannon.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate
Baja
it.
Diaries. You didn't say anything that was that you're not going to get in too much trouble for, I don't think.
No. But I always could do it. I mean, talk about
Tell them where they can go watch your Husky video, the one where you like the...
Just go to look up Berm Cannon Adventure on YouTube, and I have some new videos dropping this week. We just got done...
The Africa Twin video.
Yeah, and we just got done exploring Maricopa over to Santa Barbara, the Los Padres mountain range.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And actually, a story I wanted to share with you, because we all have things that happen to us on the trail, but we were going across the Taft area, and it's the plains up there. Carrizo Plains. Thank you. You're knowledgeable of that area. So I'm riding, and I'm standing up, and it's beautiful. It's all just prairie land. It's all dried out. Beautiful sky. And we stopped to take some photos coming around this turn, and I feel this gnarly, like this buzzing.
Bumblebees.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? And
I saw something today where you had a picture of a big bumblebee stinger.
Yeah. So I take my my Alpine Stars jacket off. I'm whipping this thing around. I'm like, and because it feels like it's trying to attack me.
Yeah.
And Freddie's up the road, and he's all, come on, because he's waiting. He's got camera, and he's like, come around the corner.
You're getting naked?
No, I'm just whipping this thing around.
Right.
So I pick my jacket up, put it back on, and it's still on me. And I slap this thing down. I'm like, what the hell? So Freddie comes around the corner. The bumblebee went into one of the underarm vent. And actually went between the mesh and the outer shell.
Yeah.
And he was stuck in there. So in the video, you see me and Freddie surgically cut the Alpine Stars jacket, and everybody's like, oh, you're cutting the jacket! So we cut this thing out, and we walk him through the jacket, and he comes out, and you can hear me in the background going, here comes Robbie, So
That was
Yeah,
very
bumblebees.
humane.
You watch
Yeah,
you
crushed
watch
it.
I
that,
crushed it, but I didn't want
That
his
was very
guts in my
nice,
Alpine
yeah.
Stars jacket. And
or his active stinger when his body dies.
exactly.
Right.
That
I got
thing was
that,
the
yeah.
size. It was like this big
Oh, wow.
coming out of the jacket.
So again, thanks Mark for coming on. Thanks to Recluse for supporting us. Thanks to Climb. Climb makes the best motorcycle gear out there. That's all I have
And
to say.
casual gear.
Casual gear. Winning, yeah, you're wearing it too. And to KTM. And I can't do this as good as you, and this is the way it goes. Powered by a distinct ready-to-race mentality, KTM is the world's leading high-performance street and off-road motorcycle manufacturer, with North American headquarters located in where?
Murrieta.
California. Over the years, KTM has built a reputation as a fierce competitor on racetracks around the world. And the brand's remarkable global success is reflected in every product it develops and every move it makes. Kind of like sponsoring this janky little podcast where we just like go dive into other people's shops and have really good content. And I'd like to thank our in-guest crowd for showing up for us. Like I said, share this if you like it. Tell other people about it. Every episode you'll learn something, and maybe you'll watch us have a beer or tequila at the same time. With that, we're gonna say 1, 2, 3.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What's up, Moto Buddies? Mike here from Taco Moto Co. What is the Taco Touch? It's the best service in the industry. Virtually 24/7 tech support via email or text, and it's like having a dirt bike doctor on call every day of the year, helping you fix your bike or recommend parts or setups for you. If you've ever received an order from us, you'll know that the Taco Touch extends to our fulfillment, and our orders come with the coolest stickers that you've ever had, buying parts from anybody before, and a handful of root beer barrel candies. All of our Taco Moto Co. branded components come with a no questions asked lifetime warranty, and we'll even extend out the warranty of other manufacturers, OEM, and aftermarket parts where we can, sometimes for life. We test and tune endlessly and exhaustively and obsessively. We're trying to destroy everything that we can before you get your hands on it to look for weaknesses and to improve it, or to make recommendations to the manufacturer. And if it's something that doesn't meet grade, then we don't offer it on the store. Everything that we carry is something that we have personally used, tested, and ridden, and raced, and knows meets the high Taco Touch demanding standard. Go out and get some adventure.